Chapter 115. Tsing Hui did not need to think to guess the movements of the people in Shaoyang Sea City. However, to the disappointment of those cultivators who had set a trap in the direction of Dragon Whale Island and waited for him to walk right into the trap, not long after he left Shaoyang Sea City, he actually stopped on Dragon Whale Island and stopped on a small island less than 100 kilometers away from Shaoyang Sea City that was specially used for people to rest on the way. The small island was less than a kilometer in diameter. It did not have any ancient forests or huge trees, nor were there any mountains or lakes. With a glance, it could be said that it was very difficult to hide someone. Tsing Hui, who had landed on the island, did not have any intention of hiding. He sat quietly on the beach as if waiting for something, waiting for those who had ill intentions to covet the 4,000 fire spirit stones and the fire and water cores that he did not know if they even existed. The cultivators who had followed him here did not make Ching Su wait for long either. In less than half an incense's time, there were cultivators who rode on flying beasts and landed on the island. However, because the number of cultivators was not small and they represented different forces, they did not make a move on Tsing Hui immediately after landing on the small island. Instead, they were on guard against each other, afraid that someone would take the opportunity to attack. Everyone, it's not a good idea for us to be on guard against each other like this. If we delay any longer, there might be even more people coming. If we're not careful, we might even alarm those big shots at the spirit unity realm. Thus, it's better for us to discuss a solution first so as to prevent others from taking advantage of us. A peak spirit refining realm cultivator stepped forward and said solemnly. Not only was he a peak spirit refining cultivator, the two people accompanying him were also not weak. The three of them could be considered to be the strongest force among the 14 spirit refining cultivators that followed them. Sire's words are correct. However, I feel that before we discuss a solution, we should first kill Tsing Hui's Gale Giant Eagle. This way, he would be like a turtle in a jar in the vast sea without a flying beast. We do not need to worry about him making a comeback. A spirit refining cultivator agreed. That's right. Let's take care of our business first so that we won't fail miserably. This brat knows that there's danger, yet he dares to wait here and not leave. He must be fearless. We should be careful. As he spoke, everyone's eyes focused on Tsing Hui. Since you have guessed that I am waiting for you here because I have something to rely on, why are you still courting death? Tsing Hui's gaze swept across the crowd. From their expressions, he could tell that they had done a lot of robberies. Who represents the Blood Lord, Hyun Fan? Who is the informant of the Hisa Chamber of Commerce? Looks like you really think of yourself as someone important. No matter how big your trump card is, you're still only at the true energy realm. Don't tell me you want to defy the heavens. Brat, if you have any tricks up your sleeve, use them now. Otherwise, it will be too late when we make our move. Several experts of the Aura realm shouted, but everyone's vigilance was raised to the extreme. Who represents the Blood Lord, Hyun Fan, and the Hisa Chamber of Commerce? If you speak up before you die, I can give you a way out. Of course, if I can't hold back, then don't blame me for what happens next. Tsing Hui swept his gaze across these spirit-refining cultivators and was too lazy to be long-winded. In the next moment, a sword light that emitted surging heat waves shot out, brazenly stabbing towards the nearest Gang Chi realm expert. How dare you attack my Tiger Shark's men? Do you really think that we're easy to bully? Captain, be careful. Rumor has it that this brat has cultivated holy rank true chi. Moreover, his true chi has reached the large success stage. We can't underestimate him. Seeing Tsing Hui make his move, the few spirit refining cultivators who were targeted by him shouted at the same time. The captain of the Tiger Shark, who was in the late stage of the spirit refining realm, could clearly feel the heat wave coming towards him. It was almost suffocating. However, he still unleashed his aura chi and turned it into a sharp blade, colliding with the heat wave. Pang! Flames burst out. Tsing Hui's Golden Crow Chi was directly turned into Golden Crow Chi under the amplification of the Crimson Dragon Sword. When the divine-grade Golden Crow energy at the level of mastery met with the ordinary energy at the same level of mastery, it was as if a divine weapon had cut into the ground. The saber energy of the Tiger Shark Regiment commander was easily torn apart, and the sword energy of the Crimson Dragon Sword pierced through without losing any momentum. The blazing and sharp sword energy caused his expression to change drastically. Not good. This is Qi. He is not in the late stage of the true Qi, but the Aura Qi realm. Moreover, it is a divine-grade Aura Qi. The captain of the Tiger Shark exclaimed. He immediately dispersed his Aura Qi and retreated. Unfortunately, Tsing Hui's Golden Crow Qi was not afraid of ordinary late-stage Aura Qi cultivators. Now that his Golden Crow Qi had reached the late stage and he had taken out the Crimson Dragon Sword, he had an absolute advantage against ordinary late-stage Aura Qi cultivators. As the Crimson Dragon Sword shone brightly, a sword light shot out from the sword and caught up to the retreating Tiger Shark Regiment commander in an instant. Just as he was barely able to unleash his supreme force to defend himself, the sword light had already torn apart his weak supreme force and pierced through his throat at lightning speed. Xiao. After killing the captain of the Tiger Shark Regiment with a single strike, the Green Ruin's sword shuddered, and he became one with the sword. In that moment, he broke free from the combined attacks of the two other cultivators. After dodging their attacks, he suddenly turned around and swung the Scarlet Dragon Sword in his hand at 180 degrees. Sword Qi rampaged. Although the two spirit-refining cultivators had earth Qi to protect their bodies and were even wearing armor, this kind of defense that was enough to make ordinary true Qi cultivators helpless was like paper in front of the Scarlet Dragon Sword's Golden Crow earth Qi, breaking it in one strike. The sword ray flashed. Two heads flew into the air. The three spirit-refining cultivators of the Tiger Shark completely annihilated. The three spirit-refining cultivators of the Tiger Shark were killed in an instant. It was so fast that no one could react. Immediately, a huge uproar broke out among the remaining 11 people. Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi. It's Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi. Who said that this kid is only a true Qi cultivator? Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi cultivators can even fight against Spirit and Qi Unity cultivators. In the Aura Qi realm, other than those who have cultivated Saint Rank Aura Qi, no one can resist it. No. No. It's not Saint Rank Great Success Stage Aura Qi. It's a divine weapon. The one in his hand is at least a Rank 5 divine weapon. Relying on the Rank 5 divine weapon's sharpness, he can transform his true Qi into Aura Qi and erupt with strength not inferior to a Great Success Stage Aura Qi cultivator. When the words Rank 5 divine weapon came out, the temptation brought by greed overshadowed the fear brought by the death of the three Tiger Shark cultivators. Rank 5 divine weapon. Even if it's a low Rank 5 divine weapon, if it lands in my hands, I will have the courage to face Spirit and Qi Unity cultivators. No wonder he, a true Qi cultivator, still has the courage to fight against so many spirit-refining cultivators. This Rank 5 divine weapon is his trump card. Quick, hit the Rank 5 divine weapon away from his hand. Without the Rank 5 divine weapon, any one of us can kill a true Qi cultivator with a flip of our palm. Chaotic shouts came out from the 11 spirit-refining cultivators. These spirit-refining cultivators had been walking in the gray area for many years and each of them had their own trump cards. However, since they could see that Tsing Hui's trump card was the Rank 5 divine weapon, they naturally could not reveal their trump cards so easily. They might as well let Tsing Hui borrow the strength of the Rank 5 divine weapon to kill some of the competitors. At that time, they would reveal their trump cards and hit the Rank 5 divine weapon away from Tsing Hui's hand. Without the Rank 5 divine weapon, Tsing Hui who was only a true Qi cultivator would be like a turtle in a jar. With such a mentality, the 11 spirit-refining cultivators did not have the slightest intention of cooperating. Those who thought that they had a way to deal with the rank 5 divine weapon instead quickly retreated, allowing Tsing Hui to kill the other spirit refining cultivators. Seeing this, Tsing Hui shook his head inwardly. Among the 14 spirit refining cultivators, there were 4 late and peak spirit refining cultivators. If all of them attacked together, they might not be able to do anything to him. However, it was not difficult for them to bring him some trouble and let some of them escape. Unfortunately, each of them represented different powers and were on guard against each other. There was no trust at all, and instead, they allowed Tsing Hui to kill them one by one. Not long later, another 4 of the 11 spirit refining cultivators were killed. Just as Tsing Hui's sword turned and was about to cut down the 5th spirit refining cultivator, that spirit refining cultivator immediately shouted in fear, "Stop, Prince Tsing Hui, please have mercy. I am following President Guza's orders to follow Prince Tsing Hui. I hope that young master can see that I am only following orders and give me a way out." Finally forcing out a spy, Tsing Hui's sword slanted, and the sword that was originally aimed at his throat swept past his shoulder, piercing through it. The blazing golden crow chi exploded, causing more than half of his meridians to be incinerated. The intense pain caused him to let out a miserable shriek. "You should be glad that you reported your identity. If you were a moment later, I wouldn't even be able to spare your life." Tsing Hui's voice could be heard. He had already borrowed the force from the ground and charged towards another spirit refining cultivator. The remaining 6 spirit refining cultivators belonged to 2 groups. The one that Tsing Hui chose was the weaker one. "Hein, you dare to attack us first. Do you think we are easy to bully?" The leader of the 3, a peak spirit refining cultivator, said, "I'll take out the absolute Yuan ring and trap his rank 5 divine weapon. You guys take this opportunity to kill him." "All right. Boss Zhu Zhen, don't worry. As long as we can restrain his divine weapon, his true chi cultivation is not worth mentioning." The 2 spirit refining cultivators who received the order replied at the same time. "Pine." In the next moment, the peak spirit refining cultivator, Zhu Zhen, suddenly stepped forward. Using some unknown footwork, he appeared in front of Tsing Hui. The moment Tsing Hui's crimson dragon sword arrived, he waved a strange divine weapon made of 12 palm-sized silver rings, which directly encircled the crimson dragon sword in Tsing Hui's hand. The moment the crimson dragon sword was encircled, Tsing Hui could clearly feel that when he tried to inject his true chi into the rank 5 divine weapon, he was met with great resistance. It was as if he had lost control of the crimson dragon sword that was created by him. "My true chi is depleting so fast. Rank 5 upper grade. Rank 5 upper grade. This is a rank 5 upper grade divine weapon. We're rich." Although it was extremely difficult for Zhu Zhen to restrain the crimson dragon sword, he still shouted in surprise. "Rank 5 upper grade divine weapon." Hearing Zhu Zhen's shout, the remaining 3 spirit refining cultivators' faces changed. They no longer cared about reaping the benefits. Attack. Chapter 116. "Ha, I've been waiting for you. Unfortunately, you won't have the chance." One of Zhu Zhen's underlings, dressed in black, shouted. A one-use treasure similar to the eternal blazing sun was thrown out by him with all his might. In an instant, it exploded in front of the 3 spirit refining realm cultivators. Streaks of extremely sharp and spiritual aura chi shot out, shrouding the 3 spirit refining realm cultivators. In an instant, they were surrounded by more than 10 spirit refining realm cultivators. This was a rank 4 unique treasure. One-use treasure. The aura chi won't be able to trap the 3 of them for long. Now is the time to kill this kid and take away the rank 5 divine weapon and the 4,000 top-grade fire spirit stones. With this, we'll be rich. At that time, each of us will have a high-grade rank for divine weapon. With the 3 of us working together, even spirit and chi unity realm cultivators will have to give us face. Let's end this quickly. Zhu Zhen and the other two spirit-refining realm cultivators were strangely excited. Blinded by greed. Tsing Hui's spiritual world shone brightly. The blazing sun burst out with dazzling sword light, illuminating the entire spiritual world. Wang Wang. The next moment, a flying sword pierced through the air. The Qingxian sword, which was fully activated by the sword intent, tore through the air waves with a piercing sound. In an instant, it pierced through the forehead of Zhu Zhen, who was trapping his crimson dragon sword. The sharp and blazing sword light brought along a terrifying impact, sending him flying. At the same time, the crimson dragon sword, which was trapped by the absolute Yuan ring, was finally able to break free. The blazing sword qi once again burst out, like a flaming tornado, fiercely colliding with the sword of the spirit-refining realm cultivator. Pang! The flames exploded. It was as if a bomb had exploded in the air. The impact of the explosion instantly burned the grass and wood chips on the ground into ashes. Even the spirit-refining realm cultivator was engulfed by the flames. Captain. The black-clothed man who used a rare treasure to suppress the three spirit-refining cultivators was stunned. Two spirit-refining cultivators from their side died in a blink of an eye, especially after unleashing his flying sword to kill Zhu Zhen in an instant. Tsing Hui had already stepped forward and grasped the absolute Yuan ring in his hand, storing it in his personal space. By the time he abruptly came to his senses, Tsing Hui's crimson dragon sword had already arrived in front of him with a blazing heat wave. No! Boom! Sparks flew everywhere. The middle-stage spirit-refining cultivator was easily killed by Tsing Hui's sword. Even though he tried his best to retaliate, sending out a stream of earth qi that tore apart the flames from Tsing Hui's crimson dragon sword and left a wound on Tsing Hui's shoulder, this level of injury was nothing to Tsing Hui, who had a rank 4 recovery ability. Rumble. A violent roar came from the other rank 3 spirit-refining cultivator's battlefield. The treasure that the black-clothed man took out was a rank 4 treasure, refined by a spirit qi unity realm cultivator. The earth qi of such a cultivator possessed a certain level of spirituality. Even without anyone controlling it, it still revolved around the 3 spirit-refining cultivators as if it had a life of its own. As such, after Qing Su killed the 3 of them, the remaining 3 had yet to completely destroy the spiritual-filled earth qi. Tsing Hui did not waste his breath on these people. The flying sword that pierced through Zhu Zhen abruptly turned under the guidance of his sword intent and accelerated at full speed. With an ear-piercing whistle, it shot towards one of the spirit-refining cultivators. The sword broke the sound barrier in the air, forming a circular wave of air visible to the naked eye. Not good, stop, we are Hunyuan. The spirit-refining cultivator who was hit by Tsing Hui's flying sword saw that Tsing Hui had changed his target and was scared out of his wits. He immediately opened his mouth and shouted. However, the speed of his shout was still slower than the speed of the Qingxian sword. Blood splattered. Before he could finish his words, his head was pierced through by the flying sword. The impact of the sword tearing through the earth qi caused him to fly out. Before he landed, he was already dead. Flying sword. This speed, it's a rank 4 upper grade flying sword. Rank 5 upper grade spirit weapon. Rank 4 upper grade flying sword. The remaining 2 spirit-refining cultivators stared at the flying sword that took away their comrade's life. Their eyes were filled with despair. Stop. Prince Tsing Hui, we were only hired by Hunyuan to kill you. Please give us a way out. Tsing Hui's gaze swept across the 2 of them. I only need one of you alive. In the next moment, the scarlet dragon sword tore through the void and attacked like lightning. The friction between the sword and the air left behind a visible flame sword mark, as if a fire dragon had appeared. Damn it, I'll fight it out with you. Both of their eyes were filled with despair and anger. They roared and activated their earth qi to the extreme. However, before the 2 of them could receive the final blow from Tsing Hui, one of the 2 spirit-refining cultivators attacked the other. A thunderous palm landed on the protective earth qi on the other's chest. The other spirit refining cultivator who was caught off guard was sent flying while vomiting blood. Coincidentally, he met with Tsing Hui's sword. See law. The flames dissipated. The spirit refining cultivator who was killed by his comrade stared with his eyes wide open. His face was filled with unwillingness as he was killed by Tsing Hui's sword. Prince Tsing Hui, what do you want to ask? Su Sheng, dare not hide anything from you. It is difficult for us overseas cultivators to survive and cultivate. For the sake of cultivation, we have to embark on this path of no return. I hope that Prince Tsing Hui can be lenient and keep your promise and spare my life. The two spirit refining cultivators who killed his comrade, Su Sheng hurriedly threw away the rank 3 divine weapon in his hand and looked at Tsing Hui in horror, waiting for his final sentence. Qing Su glanced at him and surged with sword intent. With a turn, the Qingxian sword had already shot through the air and hovered before him. It slowly revolved around him like a satellite. Now, answer my questions. If the answer satisfies me, I will not kill you. Tsing Hui looked at the two and said slowly. Yes, yes, yes. Prince Tsing Hui, as long as we know, we will tell you everything. The two spirit refining cultivators hurriedly said. Let's start with you. Tsing Hui turned to the man from the Heza Chamber of Commerce. What is the Heza Chamber of Commerce's plan? I know that they have other plans. President Guza of the Heza Chamber of Commerce actually wants to take all the benefits. Not only the fire spirit stone on you, Prince Tsing Hui, but also the corpse of the semi-sacred beast Jiuying. When the president sent me to deal with Prince Tsing Hui, he had already brought people to intercept the Island Lord's team. He had already spread the news and caused Hunyuan Fan to appear and clash with Prince Tsing Hui. Thus, in the end, whether it is you, Prince Tsing Hui, or the corpse of the semi-sacred beast Jiuying in the hands of the Island Lord, everyone will place their attention on Hunyuan Fan, thinking that he was the one who did it. Ah! The man's words caused the spirit refining cultivator hired by Hunyuan Fan to be dumbfounded. Hunyuan Fan was actually a chess piece chosen by the Heza Chamber of Commerce to be used as a scapegoat. The Heza Chamber of Commerce had a good idea. It seems that the 5 Spirit and Qi Unity Realm cultivators were also specially chosen. Yes, yes. Among the 5 Spirit and Qi Unity Realm cultivators, one of them, Lady Yuzhen, is President Guza's lover. She is on the same side as President Guza. As for the other 4, they either do not have a strong need for the semi-sacred beast Jiuying, or they do not have enough wealth to join in the fun. These people were indeed carefully chosen by President Guza. Even Hunyuan Fan was a target chosen by President Guza. Looking at how skilled Guza is, he must have done this more than once. Yes, according to what I know, this is already the 3rd time. The first time was a secret cultivation method, the second time was a Great Sun Essence, this is the 3rd time, Great Sun Essence. Tsing Hui's eyes flashed. Are you talking about the Great Sun Essence refined by the Jin Wu religion's higher-ups? Yes, that Great Sun Essence was stolen by a high-ranking deacon of the Jin Wu religion who betrayed the religion. It is absolutely true. However, because this treasure is unique to the Jin Wu religion, it is not easy to get rid of it. In addition, there are too few cultivators of the fire attribute overseas. Until now, no suitable buyer has been found. The man seemed to know what Tsing Hui wanted to ask and hurriedly told him everything he knew about the Great Sun Essence. So now, where is the ambush location? There are not many sea routes from Shaoyang City to Dragon Elephant Island. Moreover, President Guza has already determined the direction of Dragon Elephant Island's warship. The best ambush location is Tritalent Island, an area formed by 3 small islands. When the warship approaches that area, President Guza will have the cultivators he has already bribed to destroy the warship's propulsion system and force it to land in Sankai Island waters. That will complete the ambush. Tritalent Island. The cultivator who claimed to have been hired by Hunyuan Fan paused slightly. Lord Hunyuan Fan said he would wait for me to kill him after I'm done. The rendezvous point will also be in Sankai Island waters. Very good. It seems that Guza wants to use Hunyuan's power to exhaust Dragon Elephant Island's trump card, or perhaps the Heza Chamber of Commerce has hit the jackpot. Originally, they only wanted Hunyuan to take the blame, but in the end, their plan became reality. As Tsinghui spoke, he looked at the two of them again. "Tell me everything you know." In order to save their lives, the two of them did not dare to hide anything. Very quickly, they revealed all the information they knew. Overseas was different from inland. The cruel competitive environment caused the mobility of many overseas cultivators. Very few spirit refining cultivators would be loyal to others. At best, it could only be considered as the weak relying on the strong. Just like Beihai City, when faced with danger, there were not many who were willing to die for him. Cultivators like Wu Yu who were completely loyal to their master were in the minority. After obtaining the information he wanted, Tsinghui glanced at the two restless people. First, he kept the treasures of the 12 spirit refining cultivators. Then, Xiao. The sword pierced through the air. Under the astonished gaze of the two, the Qingxian sword killed all the flying beasts that the cultivators rode. "Prince Tsinghui, since I said that I would spare your lives, I will keep my word. However, to prevent you from spreading any information and spoiling my plan, you will temporarily stay on this island. You can leave only when you are rescued by a passing warship." After saying that, Tsinghui's gaze faintly swept across one of the flying beasts that had been pierced through by his sword. It was obvious that it was not completely dead yet. Then he flew up and broke through the air with his sword. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared into the vast sea of clouds. Chapter 117. After Tsinghui left, the spirit refining cultivator hired by Hunyuan did not hesitate and brazenly attacked the man with a crippled arm. Although the man seemed to be prepared, his arm was crippled. True fire invaded his body and his battle prowess was reduced to less than 10%. In an instant, he was heavily injured and killed by the spirit refining cultivator hired by Hunyuan. After killing the spirit refining cultivator, the first thing he did was to find the bird that still had a breath left. He immediately gave it medicine and at the same time, used a secret technique to stimulate the bird's life force, allowing it to recover some of its vitality and fly up into the sky. "Damn it, I wonder if the bird's life force can last until we reach Shaoyang City. Little bastard, you actually dared to put me in such a difficult situation and even wanted to rely on a rank 5 divine weapon to ambush Lord Hunyuan. Courting death. When I reach Shaoyang City, I will definitely let Lord Hunyuan know about this. At that time, I will let you walk right into my trap," the man thought viciously, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. However, after the bird flew over 40 kilometers, it suddenly let out a painful wail. There seemed to be a cluster of sword chi hidden in its body that suddenly erupted, crushing its internal organs and causing it to fall straight to the ground. Not good, that little bastard actually left a hidden attack on the bird. A look of horror appeared in the man's eyes as he watched the bird fall into the sea with him. Plop. The terrifying impact made him spit out a mouthful of blood. Damn it! Even though he had released his earth energy to reduce the force of his fall, he still spat out a mouthful of blood when he fell into the sea. Damn it, 60 kilometers, a trace of resentment appeared on the man's face. But very quickly, he thought of something and the resentment was replaced by fear. See, it had always been the world of the sea beasts. In the sea, not to mention a spirit refining cultivator, even a spirit chi unity realm cultivator could be trapped to death by ordinary sea beasts, die of exhaustion. Moreover, the outer sea was different from ordinary seas. There were countless ferocious sea beasts living there. Not long after the man fell into the sea, a few beasts had already surrounded him. Get lost! Get out of my way! The man roared furiously. Streams of astral energy burst out and killed the surrounding sea beasts in the blink of an eye. However, that did not stop the sea monsters from surrounding them. Instead, more and more sea monsters surrounded them due to the smell of blood. Occasionally, they could even see a terrifying monster that was equivalent to an immortal-level human. No! 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 The man screamed in horror as he continued to shoot out his astral energy. The blood of the sea beasts quickly dyed the sea red. However, not only was there no joy in his heart, his fear grew as more and more ferocious beasts rushed over, almost causing his reason to collapse. At this moment, he finally understood why Tsing-Hui had purposely left a bird behind. This bird represented a chance of survival. For this chance, the two spirit refining cultivators would have to fight to the death to determine the victor. However, even if he won in the end, it would be of no use. Tsing-Hui had left a stream of true energy in the bird, and it would explode at a certain time. Unless he listened to Tsing-Hui and obediently waited on the island for a passing warship to save them, no matter what the result was, he would definitely die. Understanding this, the man's heart was completely consumed by fear and anger. Especially when the rank 2 sea beasts began to appear and surround him, he could not help but roar in anger, "Tsing-Hui! I curse you! I curse you to be torn into pieces by Hunyuan Fan! I'll wait for you! Hunyuan Fan will soon send you to accompany me." Amidst the mournful scream, the man's body turned into a pool of blood and was devoured by the rank 2 sea beasts that were rushing over. The green ruins flew through the air on his sword, whistling towards the region of Tritalent Island as quickly as he could. Sankai Island waters was about 1,000 kilometers away from Shaoyang Sea. It was neither far nor near. With the warship's speed, it would take about 3 to 4 hours to reach there. Qing Su rode the Gale Giant Eagle to this island and killed the 14 spirit refining cultivators, which took him quite a bit of time. Coupled with the fact that he was traveling in a different direction, even if he flew at full speed with an average speed of 500 kilometers per hour, the time to reach Tritalent Island was still very tight. 2 hours passed in the blink of an eye. When Tsing-Hui arrived at the Sankai Island waters, a fierce battle had already broken out. 2 warships had crashed near the Tritalent Island. Raging flames continued to burn on the warships and had yet to be extinguished. Many people could be seen screaming near the shore as they swam towards the island at the fastest speed to avoid the sea beasts. Fortunately, the sea beasts living near the shore were not strong. Otherwise, those unfortunate cultivators who fell into the sea would only be able to survive at most 10%. Tsing-Hui rode on his sword and swept past these people. Soon, his gaze landed on one of the islands. On that island, several powerful auras were constantly rising and colliding. The battle had already reached its climax. Hunyuan Fan, Guza, the other female spirit and Qi Unity Realm cultivator, is Lady Yuzhen, who has allied with Guza. Tsing-Hui's gaze swept past the 3 powerful cultivators. Among the 3 spirit and Qi Unity Realm cultivators, Hunyuan Fan seemed to have suffered heavy injuries. Even if his strength was above Guza and Lady Yuzhen, he was still struggling under the pressure of the 2 spirit and Qi Unity Realm cultivators. Moreover, Guza and Lady True Yuzhen clearly had the intention of completely annihilating Hunyuan Fan. Their attacks could be said to be merciless. The battle between the 3 of them could be said to be extremely tragic. "Seems like I'm not too late." Tsing-Hui's indifferent voice came from the void. Hunyuan Fan, Guza, and Lady Yuzhen, who were fighting fiercely, were startled at the same time. They could not help but look towards Tsing-Hui, who was in the void. "Tsing-Hui! That's a flying sword. This brat actually has a flying sword. Why would he appear here? I've already sent people to kill him. He should be dead by now. Why would he?" The 3 spirit and Qi Unity Realm cultivators seemed to have thought of something at the same time. Their expressions changed and they immediately retreated, ending the life and death battle. Tsing-Hui stepped on his sword and glanced at the spirit refining cultivator who bought the corpse of his semi-holy beast Jiuying for 4,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones. His eyes were filled with regret. He originally wanted to use this spirit refining cultivator to establish a connection with Dragon Elephant Island. In the future, he would be able to exchange for more peerless grade spirit stones. But now there was no more chance. The spirit refining cultivator's head was separated from his body. Brat, it seems that we have underestimated you. You obviously have an expert behind you. Otherwise, with your strength alone, you wouldn't be able to do anything to the hunting team I sent out. Don't try to act mysterious here. Invite the expert behind you out and let us see him. If the expert you invite is an existence ranked in the top 300 of the Divine Dragon list, I, Hyun Fan, will immediately apologize to you. Hyun Fan stared at Xing Hui, who was in the void. His gaze swept across the flying sword below his feet and a trace of greed flashed in his eyes. That's right, Xing Hui. Perhaps there is some misunderstanding between us. However, a straightforward person does not resort to insinuations. Since you appeared here, I guess you have the intention to negotiate, right? Since that's the case, why don't you invite the expert behind you out and we can sit together and discuss how to resolve this misunderstanding? Guza said in a deep voice. Compared to Hyun Fan, who was still greedy, he had already faintly felt that something was amiss. As he spoke, he raised his guard. Expert, Xing Hui's cold gaze swept across Hyun Fan, Guza, and Lady Yuzhen. The three of them had gone through a series of battles and were no longer in their peak condition. There was no need to talk too much. He already knew what he needed to know. What he needed to do now was to put an end to this matter once and for all. Xiao. In the next moment, Xing Hui's figure flew and shot towards Guza, Hyun Fan, and Lady Yuzhen like a ray of light. How dare you! Seeing that Xing Hui actually dared to attack the three divine Qi Unison realm experts with his true energy realm cultivation, Lady Yuzhen shouted sternly, I don't care what kind of expert is behind you. Once I capture you alive, I will naturally be able to interrogate you one by one. Die. As soon as she finished speaking, a rope-like divine weapon appeared in her hand and flew towards Xing Hui to bind him. Her target was the Tier 4 flying sword below his feet. Although they were all in the divine Qi Unison realm, they could only glide or walk on the waves for a short period of time. In the end, they could not be like the Green Hell realm experts who could enter and exit the void and move unhindered. If they wanted to capture Xing Hui, the first thing they needed to do was to control his flying sword. This was to prevent him from retreating when he was no match for them. Rumble. Facing the rope that Lady Yuzhen was using to bind him, Xing Hui's spiritual world shone brightly. The speed of his flying sword suddenly increased sharply, bringing along an ear-piercing explosion as it shot towards Lady Yuzhen. At the same time, a majestic and terrifying aura crazily rose from his body, divine art. Ping! The Crimson Dragon sword light, under the amplification of the divine art, swept out a thunderous might and fiercely collided with Lady Yuzhen. Lady Yuzhen originally wanted to laugh at Xing Hui for overestimating himself when she saw him charging towards her. No matter how powerful a true Qi realm cultivator was, he could at most contend against a spirit refining realm cultivator. How could he cross two realms and fight against a divine Qi Unison realm expert? However, when the two figures with surging true Qi collided, her face immediately became incomparably alarmed. This is Rumble. The Qi wave exploded. Xing Hui brought along the might of the Crimson Dragon sword and fiercely slashed at Lady Yuzhen's rope divine weapon. A terrifying heat wave exploded on the tip of the Crimson Dragon sword, bringing along a destructive power that turned Lady Yuzhen's rope into ashes. The sharp edge of the sword continued to crush down, destroying the protective true Qi on the surface of Lady Yuzhen's body. Before her widened eyes could be filled with fear, the deadly sword light had already collapsed. Die. No. Amidst a mournful and terrified scream, Lady Yuzhen's entire body was crushed into pieces by the Crimson Dragon sword's terrifying sword Qi. Chapter 118. Yuzhen. How is this possible? Seeing that Lady Yuzhen was killed by Xing Hui in an instant, Guza and Hyun Fan, who thought that Xing Hui was relying on the expert behind him, opened their eyes wide. Level 5 Divine Weapon. Level 5 Divine Weapon. He actually has a level 5 divine weapon in his hands. Also, the power that erupted from his sword just now, is already not inferior to a green netherworld realm expert. In terms of attack, he is already not inferior to any green netherworld realm expert in the slightest. How could this be? Hyun Fan immediately felt a chill run up his spine and straight to his brain. However, Tsing Hui would not stop just because of their shock. He slashed Madame True Yuzhen with a single slash from the heavens with an unstoppable force. Then, he turned around and the Qingxian sword beneath his feet vibrated slightly. His entire body once again shot out like a shooting star and arrived in front of Xian Fan in the blink of an eye. Qing Su showed no mercy at all to this expert of the evil path who had completely messed up his auction. Hyun Fan's reaction was extremely fast. Although he was extremely shocked by the death of Lady Yuzhen, in the face of Tsing Hui's sword, the battle saber in his hand drew a bright arc and fiercely slashed at the Crimson Dragon sword, vainly trying to force Tsing Hui to retreat. Bang! Sparks flew. Tsing Hui's sword seemed to have paused for a moment. However, Tsing Hui's talent in swordsmanship had increased, so how could he make such a mistake so easily? The moment his sword was blocked, his entire body suddenly rotated and the sword made a 180-degree horizontal cut, bringing along a heat wave that distorted space, once again slashing at Hyun Fan's body. The sword turned into a raging fire as it rotated, sealing off all the space that Hyun Fan could dodge with the force of a prairie fire. Thunder flash. At the critical moment, Hyun Fan roared and his body seemed to have turned into a bolt of lightning, instantly widening the distance between himself and Tsing Hui. He escaped from the raging fire and said, "Guza, the two of us have to work together. Otherwise, with his flying sword, we won't even have a chance to escape. In the end, both of us will die here." Although Guza was still fighting fiercely with Hyun Fan just a second ago, ambitious and ruthless people like them who could sacrifice anything for their own interests naturally judged the danger in front of them. Just as Hyun Fan had said, if they did not work together to stop Tsing Hui, the two of them would not be able to escape death in the end. Work together. Gu Jia immediately responded, and a layer of scales seemed to appear all over his body. Then, with a wave of his right hand, two gloves completely forged from white bones covered his arms, making it seem as if his hands were equipped with white bone battle armor. Kill! Following Guza's low roar, he had already swept out a monstrous aura. It was like a towering Mount Tai was charging at Tsing Hui with all his strength. Every step he took on the ground was like the birth of an ancient ferocious beast, causing the ground to shake continuously. Even the space around him seemed to have been distorted to a certain extent, becoming incomparably heavy. Tsing Hui, who was about to chase after Hyun Fan again, felt the biting cold danger coming from Guza. The tip of his sword turned, and a stream of light flashed. Before Guza could use the charge to raise his momentum to the limit, the Crimson Dragon's sword carried the power of a falling meteor and brazenly pierced down. Rumble. When Tsing Hui's Crimson Dragon sword and Guza's bone fist gloves collided, it was like the collision between Earth and Mars. A terrifying shockwave blasted out along with a dazzling flame. The sword chi that exploded from the Crimson Dragon sword instantly tore the bone fist gloves on Guza's body to pieces. The remaining sword chi swept up Guza's arms without slowing down, tearing them into a bloody mess. However, the majestic rebounding force that was emitted from Gu Jia's body was like a tempestuous wave that surged and pounded against his body, causing him to feel as though he had been hit by a speeding train. His body shot out like a cannonball, and his internal organs were already in a mess in the air as he spat out fresh blood. Hyun Fan, who was originally being suppressed by Tsing Hui and was even being chased after, seized this opportunity and once again displayed his lightning-like speed. He actually caught up to Tsing Hui in an instant, and the battle saber in his hand slashed down with lightning. The friction between the blade and the air caused an ear-piercing thunderstorm to erupt in the void. Just the air pressure from the slash of the saber had already caused the ground behind Tsing Hui to tear open several trenches. If Tsing Hui did not have a flying sword in his hand, Guza's almost crippled hands would have created this opportunity for Hyun Fan to attack, which could have seriously injured him. But unfortunately, just as Hyun Fan's thunderous saber was about to land on Tsing Hui, the Qingxian sword under Tsing Hui's feet suddenly burst forth, carrying his body that was flying backward to withstand the impact of the retreat. In a way that did not conform to the laws of physics, he avoided Hyun Fan's fatal saber. Not only that, after avoiding Hyun Fan's saber, Tsing Hui's body trembled slightly. Immediately after, the speed of his sword kinesis flight burst forth again. His entire body was like an arrow that had left the bow, shooting towards Hyun Fan. And the arrowhead of this arrow was the 5th-level upper magical weapon in his hand, the Crimson Dragon Sword. Not good. Hyun Fan was a veteran of hundreds of battles. The first thing he sensed was danger. With a loud roar, he actually turned his thunderous saber around and slashed towards the incoming Tsing Hui. However, Tsing Hui's explosive speed with the help of the Qingxian sword was simply too fast. It was really like a flying meteor. A second before his saber was about to land on Tsing Hui's body, his Crimson Dragon sword had already pierced through Tsing Hui's heart. Not only that, the powerful momentum caused Tsing Hui to crash into Hyun Fan's body. His bent knee heavily hit Hyun Fan's head, causing blood to spurt out in an instant. Crack! The sound of bones shattering resounded through the air. Hyun Fan's body smashed heavily onto the ground from this collision. Dust flew everywhere and a ditch was formed on the ground. Even though the powerful aura of the unity of divine Qi realm prevented him from dying immediately, his heart was pierced through and his head was almost smashed into pieces. His eyes were unfocused and his breathing was weak. Tsing Hui's body leaped and landed directly in front of Hyun Fan. I, Hyun Fan, have roamed the seas, relying on a pair of eyes that have been tempered thousands of times. I have never offended anyone that I can't afford to offend. Today, I actually made a mistake. I thought that I had my eyes on a weak sheep that could be bullied easily. In the end, I didn't expect that you were actually a ferocious tiger that could choose its prey. If I had known earlier, I definitely wouldn't have been tempted by Guza to get involved in this muddy water. Hyun Fan's eyes were filled with a trace of regret. Tsing Hui didn't have the time to listen to his nonsense. With a thrust of his sword, he pierced through his head on the spot. Unity of divine Qi realm. In front of Tsing Hui, who wielded the Crimson Dragon sword and performed the divine art, he was easily crushed and killed. After killing Hyun Fan, Tsing Hui's gaze suddenly fell on Guza, whose arms were almost completely crippled. At this moment, Guza was bursting forth with his fastest speed, rushing towards a bird. He had already flipped over and mounted the bird. However, before he could ride the bird and escape, the sword light of the Qingxian sword had already pierced through the bird's body with an ear-piercing explosion, killing it on the spot. Not only that, the Qingxian sword spun and shot out again, aiming at Guza's forehead. Guza's powerful battle instincts allowed him to capture the trajectory of the Qingxian sword at the critical moment. With a roar from his mouth, his body suddenly expanded by 1 meter, transforming into a terrifying giant. He then raised his right hand that was dripping with blood and fiercely struck at the trajectory of the Qingxian sword. Bang! Tsing Hui instantly felt his spiritual world tremble violently. In an instant, he almost completely lost connection with the Qingxian sword. Fortunately, his spirit was tyrannical and had already reached the 46th level. In the next moment, the Qingxian sword had already shot out explosively, piercing through Guza's right fist. With an unstoppable force, it pierced through his entire arm and then shot out from his back. The huge impact caused his extremely sturdy body to fly backward and crash onto the ground. Buzz buzz. The Qingxian sword spun slightly and hovered in front of Tsing Hui. Tsing Hui glanced at the body of the Qingxian sword and actually discovered that there were cracks on this upper-grade Tier 4 flying sword, it could be seen how ferocious the power of Guza's attack just now was. As expected of the Unity of Divine Qi Realm expert on the Divine Dragon ranking. You really have some tricks up your sleeves. Unfortunately, with a wave of his hand, Xing Hui immediately kept the damaged Qingxian sword into his personal storage. Then, he held the sword with one hand and forced his way towards Guza. Guza's left hand was severely injured, and his right hand was pierced through by the Qingxian sword. He was completely crippled. In addition to the injuries from the previous battle with Hunyuan, his strength was already 70% to 80% crippled. Seeing Xing Hui closing in, Guza's expression changed slightly. He quickly said, "Prince Xing Hui, there is no hatred that cannot be resolved in this world. Today, I have fallen into your hands and am no match for you. I admit defeat. As long as you can let me live, I will do whatever you want." Xing Hui was expressionless as he walked forward step by step. Cold sweat suddenly appeared on Guza's forehead. After a while, he seemed to have thought of something and quickly said, "You cultivate fire attribute true qi, and the quality of your true qi is extremely high. If it wasn't for the fact that you once offended a direct disciple of the Jin Wu religion, I would almost think that you cultivate the Great Sun Golden Crow technique of the Jin Wu religion, and the true qi you condense is also divine grade Golden Crow true qi. I have a Great Sun essence in my hand. This item was refined by a top expert of the Jin Wu religion and is extremely precious. I am willing to give this item to you in exchange for Prince Xing Hui to spare my life. I swear to the heavens that from today onwards, I will never dare to provoke Prince Xing Hui. I believe that after I bring your head to the Heza Chamber of Commerce, someone will offer the Great Sun essence for me." Xing Hui said. "No. Prince Xing Hui, if you are willing to let me go, I am willing to pledge my allegiance to you and work for you. After all, I am an overlord of the spirit and Qi Unison realm, and I have a great reputation in the overseas region. You have come to the overseas region alone, but if you have the help of a spirit and Qi Unison realm expert like me, you will definitely be able to achieve great things. You might even be able to unify the overseas islands in the future, and rule the mainland as the king of the overseas region." Xiao. What answered him was Xing Hui drawing his sword without any hesitation. "Why?" Guza looked at Xing Hui who was determined to kill him, and a painful expression appeared in his eyes. "There is no why. Even if you are a spirit and Qi Unison realm expert who can become an elder by pledging his allegiance to the top 10 saint sects, I don't care. I need to focus on my cultivation, and I don't want to have to worry about a subordinate of mine scheming against him. Therefore, it is better to use a simpler method to solve the problem." Chapter 119. The simple way was to get things done once and for all. Xing Hui slowly pulled out the crimson dragon sword from between Guza's brows. Even at the moment of his death, Guza's eyes were still filled with regret and unwillingness. Even at the moment of his death, he was still wondering if he, Hunyuan, and even Dragon Elephant Island had all been tricked by Xing Hui using the corpse of a half-holy Jiuying. In the end, he had obtained all the benefits from the three parties and become the biggest winner. Unfortunately, he would never get the answer to this question. Xing Hui's gaze swept across Lady Yuzhen, Guza, and Hunyuan, and collected their divine weapons and other items. These people were all experts at the unity of divine Qi realm, and all of them were using 4th-ranked divine weapons. Although their weapons were of the lower grade of the 4th tier, they were still considered a wealthy group in the outer seas. One had to know that only a small number of unity of divine Qi realm experts in the outer seas were using upper grade of the 3rd tier divine weapons. Apart from the ordinary divine weapons, Xing Hui also found some defensive armors on them. However, the best quality one was Guza's 4th grade armor. This armor would manifest dragon scales when vital energy was poured into it to protect the wearer. It was almost immune to attacks below the 30th grade. Unfortunately, this armor could not display any decent power in front of Xing Hui's 5th grade upper grade Crimson Dragon Sword. It was broken in one strike. The Virokana essence. Sure enough, he didn't bring it with him. Hyun Fan's treasure is also not with him. Tsing Hui counted the spoils of war and turned his gaze back to the burning warships. As his figure flickered, he soon appeared in a warship belonging to Dragon Elephant Island. This warship was severely damaged and had fallen into the sea. The ordinary people on it had either been eaten by the nearby sea beasts or had fled to the other two islands of Tritalent Island, far away from the fighting range of the three experts of the Unity of Divine Qi realm. They were afraid that they would lose their lives in the aftermath of the battle. Tsing Hui searched the battleship for a while, and soon found the corpse of the semi-holy beast Jiuying in the storeroom. He waved his hand, and stored it in his personal space. I don't have enough personal space. I'll increase my personal space when I reach the next level of chaos. As Tsing Hui spoke, he scanned the battleship and found another 6,000 supreme-grade fire spirit stones. 10,000. This was probably the total price that Dragonesque Elephant Island Lord had paid for the corpse of the semi-holy beast Jiuying. Unfortunately, due to Hyun Fan's interference, they only paid a mere 4,000 to successfully obtain the auction item. My Golden Crow True Qi has almost reached the Fire Spirit Rock of Perfection. If I can obtain the essence of the Great Sun, there's hope for my Golden Crow True Qi to break through to the Qi refinement realm before my Crimson Yang True Qi. After receiving the 6,000 Supreme Grade Fire Spirit Stones, Tsing Hui did not waste any more time on the battleship. The battleship itself and the other items on the battleship were definitely worth a lot. Altogether, they were worth a few Grade 3 God weapons. However, it was too troublesome to collect all these items. Moreover, Tsing Hui was eager to obtain the essence of the Great Sun from the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. He was eager to head to the Hiza Chamber of Commerce to obtain the essence of the Great Sun naturally. He did not have much time to waste. After storing some of the more valuable items into his personal space, he once again rode on his sword and flew toward Si Shaoyang City. He covered a distance of 1,000 kilometers in 2 hours. Accompanied by the whistling sound of flowing light, he landed in Si Shaoyang City. In a flash, he disappeared into the crowd without a trace. Flying sword. That's a flying sword. Someone actually rode on a flying sword. Flying swords, even the weakest flying sword is a grade 4 lower grade god weapon. Its value is comparable to a grade 4 upper grade god weapon. In the entire sea region, those who possess flying swords are all overlords ranked in the top 200 of the Divine Dragon ranking. Could it be that some overlord level character has arrived in our Si Shaoyang City? What does our Si Shaoyang City have that is worth such a character personally coming? That flying sword rider just now. I think he looks familiar. He seems to be that Tsing Hui who auctioned off the corpse of the half-sacred beast Jiuying in the Hiza Chamber of Commerce not long ago. Tsing Hui. What a joke. A true energy realm cultivator has a flying sword? Are you still dreaming? Is that so? Maybe I really saw wrongly. All kinds of discussions could be heard from the place where Tsing Hui landed. Not long after, a divine energy unity realm elder from the Elder Council personally brought people to inquire. However, as soon as Tsing Hui arrived in Si Shaoyang City, he immediately used the crowd to cover his tracks and disappeared without a trace. Even if that divine energy unity realm expert wanted to investigate who had come on a flying sword, he couldn't find anything. After entering Si Shaoyang City, Tsing Hui went to the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. Where is your Vice President Long Yufeng? The person in charge of receiving Tsing Hui was obviously not a core member of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. He did not understand the schemes of the upper echelons of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. He only knew that Tsing Hui had made a big deal in the Chamber of Commerce. He immediately led him to the VIP lounge. Prince Tsing Hui, please wait for a moment. We will invite President Long over. After the receptionist left, not long after, some messy footsteps could be heard from outside the VIP lounge. Tsing Hui slightly sensed that there were 4 spirit refining realm cultivators hiding outside the door. As the door of the VIP lounge was pushed open, Long Yufeng stared at Xing Hui in disbelief. You actually, after a moment, he seemed to have thought of something and slightly relaxed. The one that left Xiaoyang City was just a clone that you used to attract attention, right? In reality, you have been staying in Xiaoyang City all this time. Xing Hui did not speak and directly threw out 2 items. One of them was Lady Yuzhen's personal earring, which was a special rank 3 treasure. It could make the wearer feel refreshed and had a slight resistance against inner demons during cultivation. The other item came from the Hiza Chamber of Commerce's President Guza. It was a ring, which was also a rank 3 treasure. It could increase the wearer's strength by 10%. Although these 2 treasures were only at the 3rd level, due to them being special treasures, they were extremely valuable. To those who needed them, they were even more valuable than a 4th level divine weapon. Thus, Madame True Jade and Gu Jia often carried them close to their bodies. Seeing these 2 items, Long Yufeng's eyes widened and a trace of panic flashed across his face. After a while, he suppressed the shock in his heart and forced himself to be calm. Prince Xing Hui, what do you mean by this? I believe you recognize these 2 items. I will not waste time. Since I dared to bring the corpse of the half-holy beast Jiuying to auction, I naturally have the confidence to do so. Do you think the corpse of a rank 4 half-holy beast Jiuying is so easy to pick up? Don't tell me you really think that I don't have any experts behind me. If it was before Xing Hui took out these 2 items, Long Yufeng would naturally not care about what he said. However, after seeing these 2 treasures that Lady Yuzhen and President Guza treasured like their lives, he already knew that the biggest backer of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce was most likely dead. And the culprit, it was very likely to be the expert behind Xing Hui in front of him. Thinking of this, Long Yufeng's forehead immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Standing in front of Xing Hui, he faintly trembled. Xing Hui. Prince Xing Hui. I don't know anything. I'm just a small figure who acts as an assistant. I'm just following orders. Long Yufeng tried to force himself to calm down, but the words that came out of his mouth were trembling. It was obvious that he was extremely terrified in his heart. Alright, I only need 2 items. The essence of the Great Sun and all the fire attribute high-grade spirit stones of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. If you can give these items to me, I don't intend to ask what the Hiza Chamber of Commerce will do next. If you can't take them out, Xing Hui swept a glance outside the VIP lounge, you're not the only vice president of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. Someone will be able to take them out. Yes. The essence of the Great Sun. I'm President Guza's confidant. I know very well where he hid the essence of the Great Sun. I'll go get it personally. In addition, I'll immediately order people to collect all the high-grade fire attribute spirit stones of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. I won't let Prince Xing Hui return disappointed. Take me there. Long Yufeng did not dare to disobey and quickly responded, yes. Don't play tricks. Even if I kill you now, the Shaoyang Chamber of Commerce can't do anything to me. If you don't believe me, you can try. As soon as Xing Hui finished speaking, the Qingxian sword burst out and stabbed in front of Long Yufeng in an instant. The speed was so fast that it far exceeded Long Yufeng's reaction. When he came back to his senses, the Qingxian sword was only half a centimeter away from his throat. He was so frightened that he screamed and quickly retreated. Don't worry, as long as you bring me what I want, I won't kill you. Xing Hui waved his hand and the flying sword disappeared without a trace. Flying sword. Long Yufeng's eyes widened. At this moment, he no longer doubted that there was an expert behind Xing Hui. Without the backing of an expert, how could he have obtained a supreme treasure like the flying sword? Without the backing of an expert, how could he have cultivated saint-grade true energy? Without the backing of an expert, how could he have killed a 4th-order half-saint beast, Jiuying? Without the backing of an expert, how could President Gu Jia and Madame True Jade have suffered such a crushing defeat? Moreover, With the flying sword in hand, Tsing Hui could really come and go as he pleased. Shaoyangxi City had dozens of Spirit Qi Unity Realm elders in charge of maintaining order, but as long as he was on the flying sword, he could easily escape from the elders' pursuit. Relying on the flying beasts under the elders, they could not catch up to Tsing Hui's flying speed. President, what happened? At this moment, the door of the VIP lounge opened and two spirit refining cultivators barged in. They were the ones that Long Yufeng was prepared for. Seeing them, Long Yufeng immediately shouted, "Nothing, nothing, quickly go out, go out." The two spirit refining cultivators looked at Long Yufeng suspiciously, but seeing that Tsing Hui, a true Qi cultivator, did not seem to be a threat to their vice president, they slowly retreated from the lounge. Seems like they have prepared a backup plan. Unfortunately, if I want to leave, these people will not be able to stop me. Alright, where is the Great Sun Essence? Bring me there. Naturally, this way please, Prince Tsing Hui, this way please. Long Yufeng did not dare to disobey and immediately led Tsing Hui to the location where the Great Sun Essence was kept. The location of the Great Sun Essence was not in the Heza Chamber of Commerce, but in an ordinary residence on the volcanic island below Shaoyangxi City. The people who lived on the volcanic island were usually the lowest level cultivators in Shaoyangxi City. The two people living in the residence were only in the marrow cleansing realm. No matter who saw them, they would not think that they would have any decent treasures. Chapter 120. President Guza sure is scheming. Tsing Hui said indifferently. Prince Tsing Hui, you flatter me. Please come in. Long Yufeng said and brought him to a storage room inside the residence. The first floor of the storage room was filled with a large amount of wine. It looked like a wine cellar. Ordinary wine was brewed inside, and cultivators would not be interested in it. However, if one was confused by the first floor of the storage room and left directly, they would miss out on the real treasure. There was actually a second floor in the storage room. Under Long Yufeng's lead, a secret room that had been specially treated to conceal all energy fluctuations appeared in front of them. The moment Tsing Hui stepped into the secret room, the Chaos Temple's notification sounded. Discovered Dao Vessel. Dao Rhyme Value 3. Do you want to fuse it? Qing Su's eyes swiveled about, and his gaze landed on one of the small bronze statues at the first possible moment. Dao Vessel with 3 Dao Rhyme. Long Yufeng saw Tsing Hui staring at the bronze statue and hurriedly said, Prince Tsing Hui, if you like it, you can take it. What is this? When Long Yufeng heard Qing Su's question, Chen Si thought about it for quite a while before replying, this is a wondrous item that the president obtained from a true Qi cultivator a few years ago. The president said that this item is extremely valuable, and he can sell it for an astronomical price if he meets a suitable person. However, the president never mentioned why exactly. I don't know either, strange item, Qing Su understood when he heard that. Guza clearly understood the value of this Dao vessel. To a son of chaos, this item could be sold for a sky-high price. However, different sons of chaos could offer different prices for items that could carry the Dao. Just like a spirit refining cultivator, with a bit of Dao aura, they could only take out a rank 3 divine weapon. But for those at the peak of the immortal level, let alone rank 3 divine weapons, even rank 4, rank 5, or even rank 6 divine weapons, they would be willing to exchange for them. At most, it would depend on whose method of exchange was better. Guza understood this very well. Therefore, he had been waiting for a powerful and reputable top expert to come to the Cloud Wilderness to purchase the Dao vessel item. Powerful cultivation meant that they had a lot of treasures on them. As for credibility, in that case, he wouldn't have to worry about the other party getting greedy and killing him for his treasures. However, before he could put this Dao vessel to use, it had already benefited Tsing Hui. 3 Daoist rhymes. If used well, it can be quite useful. After all, the Azure Mystic Sect Master once used a 10th grade divine weapon to exchange for one Taoist rhyme. The value of this item cannot be measured by ordinary means. As Qin Su said that, he directly stowed the bronze statue away. "I'll be taking this." Long Yufeng did not dare to disobey. It is its honor to be valued by Prince Tsinghui. "Where's the essence of the sun?" "It's here." As Long Yufeng spoke, he gestured with his hand and brought him to a jade platform in the innermost part of the room. There were a total of 3 boxes on the jade platform. One of them was a yellow treasure box. Before Tsinghui touched it, he could already feel the surging heat from it. Immediately, he took a step forward and opened the yellow box. An amber-like gemstone that shone with scorching light appeared right before him. Absorbing it slightly, Qin Su could already feel the true qi of the golden crow within him become restless, slowly pushing towards perfection once more. The essence of the sun is the best item for cultivating the great sun golden crow technique. It is equivalent to the foundation of the Jin Wu religion. If not for the difficulty in producing the essence of the sun, which limits the progress of the Jin Wu religion's cultivators, the Jin Wu religion might even replace the fortune gate and become the #1 holy ground in the eastern wilderness. Satisfied, Tsinghui kept the essence of the sun. He had just broken through to the great success realm of true qi, and still needed time to stabilize this small realm. Furthermore, compared to swallowing the essence of the sun to push his qi to perfection, he preferred to use the fire spirit stone to cultivate his qi to perfection and then use the essence of the sun to break through. "What's in the remaining 2 treasure boxes?" Tsinghui asked. "This. I don't know. Although I'm President Guza's most trusted aide, I was only allowed to enter this storage room because I helped President Guza obtain the essence of the sun. Alright, you can leave now." "Yes." Even though Qin Su only seemed to be at the realm of true qi, coupled with his saint-grade true qi and 4th-grade flying sword, he was still afraid to disobey. He left the storage room quickly. Tsinghui did not open the 2 boxes to take a closer look. With a wave of his hand, all the treasures that Guza, the president of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce, had collected over the past few decades were all stored in his personal storage space. His personal storage space, which was already cramped due to the Jiuying's corpse, was now filled to the brim. The value of the Tao aura is half. In another month, the level of the chaos will rise to level 18 and then I can expand the space. Qin Su glanced through the storage room. To prevent others from guessing that it was his personal space, he directly took out a quaking bomb he had obtained from the battleship of Dragon Elephant Island. After calculating the fuse, he ignited it and tossed it into the basement. Prince Tsinghui, when he saw Qin Su come out, Long Yufeng went up to him in a hurry. "I put some gadgets in there. You'd better leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, not only will you be in danger, but you won't be able to explain yourself when the Shaoyang Sea City investigates," Qin Su said to Long Yufeng. When Long Yufeng's face changed drastically, he had already flown out of the room. Afterwards, he drew his flying sword, which whistled through the air and pierced the sky in the blink of an eye. "Damn it!" Long Yufeng cursed and immediately followed Tsinghui out of the house with the fastest speed. Almost at the same time as he leaped out of the house, a loud rumbling sound suddenly came from underground. The entire house seemed to have been overturned by a terrifying force from underground. Countless stone fragments and layers of soil were blasted into the air. The violent vibrating force swept out from the house, forming a shockwave visible to the naked eye. All the buildings within a 30-meter radius were torn apart and collapsed. Then, the shockwave swept out 100 meters away without slowing down, causing the glass and porcelain of the houses in the area to shatter. Even the cultivators who were hundreds of meters away could clearly feel the tremors. "Bastard!" Long Yufeng's eyes were full of anger, but looking at Tsinghui who had already disappeared into the vast sea of clouds, he couldn't do anything. In addition, the violent vibration here had attracted more and more practitioners of Shaoyang Sea City to look in this direction. In order to avoid getting into trouble, he hurriedly escaped with the fastest speed. He didn't even have time to check if there were any treasures left in the destroyed storage room. Tsing Hui didn't think that destroying the storage room could hide the fact that he had taken away all the treasures inside, but he didn't mind. As long as he wasn't unlucky enough to meet a peak immortal stage practitioner who desperately wanted to prepare a son of chaos for their juniors, a low-level son of chaos comparable to a divine chi unification stage practitioner might not attract too much attention, especially in a small and remote place like the eastern wilderness. Swish! Tsing Hui's sword kinesis flight was naturally much faster than a battleship. However, while sword kinesis flight was 2 to 3 times faster than a battleship, it consumed a lot of true chi. The Golden Crow true chi had a unique advantage in killing, but it wasn't known for its recovery ability. As a result, he could only fly and stop for nearly 20,000 kilometers. His efficiency was even slower than a battleship flying 24 hours a day. Speed is indeed a big problem, and in terms of speed, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Kunpeng bloodline is the true king. This bloodline talent not only has innate talent that other divine beast bloodlines can't compare to in the early stages, but in the later stages, it's said that it can even touch space and smoothly step into the realm of space. Tsing Hui pondered for a moment. Perhaps, when he reached the spirit refining realm and cultivated divine-grade stellar chi, he could enter the Sky Dome realm and obtain the backing of the Sky Dome realm. Perhaps he could consider joining the Hunyuan Heaven Sect. Perhaps he could get his hands on the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's cultivation technique. Even if he hadn't awakened the Kunpeng bloodline and couldn't bring out the full power of the Black Hole Sutra in his hands, it was still a divine scripture and could more or less help his movement technique. After a while, Tsing Hui shook his head and threw this unrealistic idea to the back of his mind. If he joined the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, who knew how many years it would take to obtain the Black Hole Sutra? He couldn't afford to wait. Time passed. It took Tsing Hui a full 4 days to return to North Sea City. North Sea City's spaceport was currently bustling with activity. Large birds were transporting valuable goods to a large, specially mounted battleship. The battleship was densely packed with several hundred guards, including the remaining spirit refining experts of North Sea City. Not long after Tsing Hui landed in the North Sea City Lord's residence, someone sensed him and quickly ran over. Upper Foreign Elder Tsing Hui. The City Lord invites you in. Tsing Hui glanced at the guard and nodded. When he arrived at the City Lord's courtyard, he happened to run into Wu Yu and Dan Taiyu, who were also rushing in the same direction. Seeing Tsing Hui, the two were pleasantly surprised. Upper Foreign Elder Tsing Hui, you're fine. That's great. Tsing Hui smiled. Naturally, I used some small tricks to deceive their eyes and ears. It's good that you're fine. Father has something to discuss with you. Tsing Hui nodded. The three of them quickly arrived at Dan Tating's study room. Seeing Tsing Hui, Dan Tating revealed a smile. Upper Foreign Elder Tsing Hui, you're here. We just received good news. Blood Lord Hyun Fan attacked Dragon Elephant Island's battleship. Fortunately, at the crucial moment, people from the Hisa Chamber of Commerce assisted. However, Blood Lord Hyun Fan's cultivation is shocking. In the end, he used some unknown method to perish together with the people from the Hisa Chamber of Commerce. It sounds nice, but I reckon that it's just a trick of the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. However, there should be a stronger expert eyeing them and finally caught them in one fell swoop. Father, you're saying that Blood Lord Hyun Fan and Hisa Chamber of Commerce's Guza are dead? Dan Taiyu was pleasantly surprised. That's right. Dan Tating smiled. In other words, Tsing Hui is now safe. He doesn't have to worry about Blood Lord Hyun Fan's revenge. Chapter 121. That's great. Hearing that, Dan Taiyu could not help but exclaim. I have to say, Tsing Hui's luck is pretty good. Dan Tating said and turned to Tsing Hui, our Beihai city will be heading towards the Dragon Whale City tomorrow. At that time, Beihai City will only be managed by and will definitely be empty. I hope that Xing Hui can bear with us. This is my duty. Xing Hui nodded slightly. There were only a few spirit refining experts in Beihai City. With Dan Tating, Wu Yu, and the others leaving, there was no way to bring out any decent experts. They had no choice but to rely on Xing Hui. Thankfully, the arrival of the upper guest of the Green Ruins has made up for the weakness of our northern sea city's defenses. Otherwise, if the Sea Wind Fortress were to fall, it would probably be extremely difficult for our northern sea city to maintain our current status. Dan Tating said solemnly, Beihai City on Dragon Whale Island is one of the cities furthest from Dragon Whale City. A round trip would take more than a day. Moreover, there will be a series of activities during the treasure presentation assembly. We have no choice but to participate in these activities. Otherwise, we will be excluded from the upper circle of Dragon Whale Country. With all these delays, it would probably be half a month before we return to Beihai City. In this half a month, I hope that everyone will guard Beihai City well to prevent any changes from happening. When Qing Su heard Tan Tai Ting mention this for the second time, his heart skipped a beat. He asked, City Lord Tan Tai, have you received any news? Since Xing Hui asked, I will not hide it from you. There are indeed rumors from the outside that there are people who have designs on our Beihai City. However, please rest assured, Xing Hui. Even if our Beihai City's vitality is greatly damaged, and many spirit refining experts have suffered heavy losses, but with so many years of foundation, it is not easy for anyone to deal with us. Those who have designs on our Beihai City must be prepared to be defeated by us. I will personally oversee North Sea City and kill every cultivator who dares to invade North Sea City. At this moment, a clear and resolute voice came from outside the study. Then, he saw Dan Taiying, who had long hair and was wearing a tight soft armor that accentuated her curvaceous figure, striding over. When Dan Taiying arrived, his gaze landed on Xing Hui. Upper honored guest Xing Hui, you will help us, right? Xing Hui was moved by the importance of Dan Taiying and the others, but he didn't say anything. He just nodded and said, of course. Alright, upper honored guest Xing Hui must have had a tough journey. Please rest early and prepare for the upcoming battle in the void of North Sea City. Xing Hui nodded and retreated. Seeing Qing Su leave, Tan Tai Ting smiled, I've already expressed how much I value him earlier. I'm very likely to rely on him as my left and right arm. There's no need for you to bring it up again. Father, you may not know, but I have just received news that when Xing Hui left Shaoyang Sea City, both Hyun Fan and Guza had sent a team to kill him. Not long ago, there was news that 13 corpses of spirit refining cultivators were found on a nameless island. 5 of them were sent by Hyun Fan and Guza to kill Xing Hui. Dan Taiying's face changed. 13 spirit refining cultivators. You mean these 13 spirit refining cultivators were killed by him? It may be impossible for him to kill 13 spirit refining cultivators alone, but these 13 spirit refining cultivators died because of him. Upper honored guest Xing Hui sold the corpse of a rank 4 half-holy beast Jiuying in Shaoyang Sea City. Uncle Wu should have told you about it, right? Dan Tating looked at Wu Yu and nodded. Manager Wu has indeed told me about it. The fire essence core and water essence core of the rank 4 half-holy beast Jiuying were all taken away. He only sold a corpse that could be used to refine the blood of a holy beast. If I am saying if the fire essence core was secretly kept by Xing Hui and refined, then Dan Taiying's words caused Dan Tating and Wu Yu's faces to change. The core of the 4th rank half-holy beast Jiuying's flame essence, as long as the cultivator is able to comprehend the mysteries of refining qi into earth force, the energy contained within is enough to allow a cultivator who has just formed their qi to break through to the spirit refining realm, an entire realm. You mean, Xing Hui, with his saint-grade qi at large success, would definitely be in a precarious situation under the encirclement of 13 spirit-refining cultivators. After all, no matter how strong the saint-grade chi is, due to the restriction of the realm, he could only barely contend against a beginner spirit-refining cultivator. But once he breaks through to the spirit-refining realm, and the saint-grade chi he cultivates, there was no need for Dan Taiying to continue speaking. Dan Tating's eyes shone with a dazzling light. He definitely broke through to the spirit-refining realm. Otherwise, there is no way to explain how he could survive under the encirclement of 13 spirit-refining cultivators. Moreover, the fire essence core's energy should not be as simple as just breaking through to the spirit-refining realm, but helping him cultivate it to small success. Good fellow, a spirit-refining cultivator who has cultivated holy-grade astral chi, his battle prowess is not inferior to any peak spirit-refining cultivator. Just him alone is enough to fight against several spirit-refining cultivators. Looking at it this way, our Beihai city's overall strength has not decreased. Not only that. Once he refines all the fire attribute peerless grade spirit stones, his cultivation will definitely climb to a new level. At that time, the strength of Northern Sea City will also increase. Saint grade chi at large success. Dan Tating immediately understood what Dan Taiying was referring to, and his pupils shrunk. Even he, the city lord of Beihai City, who stood at the peak of spirit-refining cultivators, did not have absolute confidence in defeating an expert with saint-grade chi at large success. The premise is that we can keep Tsing Hui in Beihai City. As long as he is willing to stay in Beihai City, no one will be able to shake Beihai City's position in Dragon Whale Country. As Dan Taiying spoke, his gaze fell on Dan Taiyu. Dan Tating and Wuyu also realized where the opportunity was. After refining those fire attribute spirit stones, Tsing Hui will be able to cultivate saint-grade chi at large success. The next step is to refine the treasure in my hand, perfect his chi, or even, when Tan Tai Ting said this, it was already somewhat hard to imagine. The higher the grade of the chi, the harder it is to unify the spirit and chi. But if Tsing Hui could really achieve the step of unifying the spirit and chi with saint-grade chi at large success, from then on, the Dantai clan would have a meteoric rise with no limit. If you really can't take down Tsing Hui, or if you find it hard to say something because of your personality, then let me do it. Dan Taiying looked at Dan Taiyu, his pretty face filled with determination. We must tie him to our Dantai clan's war chariot before he truly understands his value. Big sister, Dan Taiyu looked at Dan Taiying, hesitated for a moment, and then shook her head. Big sister, father, based on my understanding of Tsing Hui, I think it's unrealistic to tie Tsing Hui to our Dantai clan's war chariot. If father, big sister, you really trust me, we can give that treasure to him now and treat him with sincerity. Based on my understanding of him over the years, if we really do that, Tsing Hui will remember it in his heart. When he achieves great success in his cultivation in the future, he won't forget the Dantai clan's help. No. Tan Tai Ting shook his head. That treasure is of great importance. If I offer it to the few great figures ranked in the top 100 on the Divine Dragon ranking, it won't be difficult for me to obtain protection from them. If we give it to him now, what if he takes the treasure away and doesn't return to our Northern Sea City? I don't think Tsing Hui is that kind of person. Say no more. The human heart is unpredictable. You're too young and inexperienced. You don't understand the principle of moving people with benefits, father. Before Dan Tating could finish, Dan Taiying interjected, in truth, I think you should consider little sister's words. You should also, father, let me finish what I have to say. Tan Tai Yin waved her hand and said sternly, he managed to cultivate saint-grade gang chi along the way in Qingsu. Furthermore, he clearly chose to sell the Jiu Ying's corpse with supreme-grade spirit stones. This shows how ambitious he is. A cultivator like him who has set his sights on the entire world and is bent on cultivating saint-grade gang chi isn't someone that our tiny Tantai clan can restrain. Rather than that, why don't we take advantage of the time when he has yet to rise and provide him with our full support? If there comes a day when he achieves meteoric success, our Tantai clan will be the biggest beneficiary. This Dan Tating fell silent for a moment. After a while, he spoke again. I'll consider this matter carefully. It won't be too late to make a final decision after seeing his performance in the face of our Beihai city's calamity. Dan Taiying did not insist, it's all up to father. Tsing Hui naturally did not know that the few people in charge of the Dantai clan had a series of debates over his policy. At this time, he had already returned to his room. This trip to Shaoyangsi City could be said to have benefited him greatly. Not only did he cultivate his golden Crosian Qi to large success, but he also exchanged for the supreme grade fire spirit stones. In addition, he had already comprehended sword intent. The path to the spirit refining realm was already smooth and unobstructed. What he needed to do next was to cultivate properly and rush to the spirit refining realm as soon as possible. Once he reached the spirit refining realm and cultivated divine grade stellar energy, he would join Tianxiong. With Tianxiong as his backer, he would no longer have to live in fear. Even if his identity as the son of primal chaos was exposed, it would be fine. In the entire eastern wasteland, no one would dare to frame a son of primal chaos from the large-scale primal chaos organization, Tianxiong. Thinking of this, he did not bother to adjust his mental state. He immediately took out the supreme grade fire spirit stones and entered seclusion to cultivate. In this way, Dan Taiyu, who had been ordered to approach Tsing Hui at night, could do nothing. Early the next morning, the Beihai battleship that was prepared to present the treasures to the Dragon Whale City soared into the sky. Amidst a gust of wind, it tore through the clouds and disappeared into the horizon. Less than a day after Dan Tating, Wu Yu, and the other elites escorted the treasures presented to the Dragon Whale Island Lord and left Beihai City, the atmosphere in Beihai City suddenly became strange. A large group of unfamiliar cultivators poured into Beihai City at the same time. Chapter 122. Although the energy in the supreme grade fire spirit stone is pure, it's not easy to absorb it. Tsing Hui placed a fire spirit stone on the table. He had 10,000 supreme grade fire spirit stones with him. It would take him about a year to refine all of them. If he wanted to cultivate slowly without wasting anything, it would take him 3 years. At that time, he would have a chance of breaking through to the Qi refinement stage with these 10,000 supreme grade fire spirit stones. As far as the speed of cultivation was concerned, it was already not slow for him to have a chance to cultivate his Qi into Gang in 3 years. However, as time passed day by day and a part of the 10 years had passed, he was still far away from achieving the vacuum-crushing realm. He was so anxious that even the superb grade fire spiritual stone could not satisfy his needs. If I have a fire attribute essence core from a class for quasi-saint beast, it would take me half a month to reach the Qi refinement stage. If I have more fire attribute essence cores, with my powerful sword will, it would take me 2 months to cultivate divine grade Qi refinement stage. Unfortunately, it's not easy to encounter a class for quasi-saint beast. If I encounter one in the sea, I'll die. Tsing Hui shook his head. He took out another fire attribute supreme grade fire spirit stone and began to refine the fire attribute primal Qi in it to cultivate. Tsing Hui, are you there? Less than half an hour after Tsing Hui resumed his cultivation, Dan Taiyu's anxious voice rang from outside the door. Tsing Hui immediately ended his cultivation and walked out of the door. He saw a worried Dan Taiyu waiting outside the door. Upon seeing Tsing Hui, Dan Taiyu seemed to have found her pillar of support. She heaved a sigh of relief. Tsing Hui, it's great that you're here. Let's go to the city governor's mansion's meeting hall. A large number of experts have entered North Sea City these few days. They're stirring up trouble in the city and even assassinating the Imperial Guards. The situation in the city is getting more and more tense. Please help us. Assassination. It seems like they're probing. Let's go to the meeting hall. Tsing Hui said and headed for the assembly hall. Tsing Hui. When the time comes, if our North Sea city is really in danger, can you please go all out and repel those villains who are disturbing the peace of our North Sea city? Dan Taiyu stood beside Tsing Hui, her right hand pinching the corner of her plaid skirt as she asked nervously. Tsing Hui knew what Dan Taiyu meant by going all out. 5th level high-grade divine weapon, however, if Qin Su relied on the advantage of the Scarlet Dragon sword right now, he would not necessarily be any weaker than a cultivator of the realm of divine qi. If he used his divine technique and used his full strength, even regular cultivators of the realm of divine qi would not be his opponent. If he really did expose the Scarlet Dragon sword, he could still protect it. It was just that it might cause some unnecessary trouble. If it's necessary, I'll do my best. Hearing Tsing Hui's promise, Dan Taiyu was pleasantly surprised and bowed to Tsing Hui. Thank you, Tsing Hui. Thank you. Tsing Hui held her up with his hand. He had a good impression of this curious little girl. You don't have to be like this. Strictly speaking, you saved my life. Now that you've asked me for help, I'll do my best no matter what. You've already repaid me for saving your life during the bloody battle at Sea Wind Fort. No matter what, our Dan Tai clan has to thank you. Tsing Hui smiled and did not say anything. The two of them quickly arrived at the assembly hall. In the meeting hall, Tan Tai Yin was talking to a middle-aged woman who had perfected her true energy. Both of them had a grave expression on their faces. When she saw Tsing Hui and Dan Taiyu arrive, her eyes immediately lit up. She interrupted the middle-aged woman's report and turned to Tsing Hui. Tsing Hui, you've come at the right time. Our North Sea city's experts have all been transferred to protect the tribute to the Dragon Whale Island Lord. North Sea City can be said to be incomparably empty right now. We'll have to completely rely on you. Since I've accepted the position of North Sea City's upper guest elder, I'll naturally contribute my strength. Tsing Hui said. His reply caused the middle-aged woman to look at him with a much friendlier gaze. Tsing Hui, let me introduce you. This is my bodyguard captain, Beigong Xiu. Currently, she's temporarily taking up the position of North Sea City's Imperial Guard commander. We can confirm that there's a group of people eyeing our North Sea City. They've sent a large number of true Qi realm and even spirit refining realm experts to cause trouble in our North Sea City, probing the bottom line of our strength. If we don't stop them, once they think that our North Sea City is soft and easy to bully, they'll definitely launch an all-out attack. At that time, the entire North Sea City will be plunged into misery and suffering. Therefore, before they make up their minds, we must give them a heavy blow and let them understand that no matter who it is, they'll have to pay with their lives if they have any ideas about our North Sea City. When Tan Tai Yin reached the end of her speech, her words were filled with an iron-blooded and murderous aura. Taking precautions is indeed the best method. Commander Beigong, have you investigated the enemy's background? Currently, we've investigated a total of 102 true Qi realm cultivators and 6 spirit refining realm cultivators. Fortunately, only 4 of the 6 spirit refining realm cultivators were probing. The remaining 2 represent different powers and are still observing, Beigong Xiu said with a dignified expression. Of course, this is only the number of cultivators that we've investigated. If we include those that have yet to show themselves, the number would have doubled. 6 spirit refining realm cultivators, doubling again, this had already surpassed the combined power of North Sea City. Of course, these spirit refining realm cultivators represented different powers. If they truly belonged to a certain power, there would be no need for them to be so cautious in sending people to probe. They could just directly attack. Do you have the detailed location of those spirit refining realm cultivators that made a move? N. Hearing Tsing Hui's question, Dan Taiying's gaze fell on him. You intend to use force? Those spirit refining realm cultivators that were sent to investigate usually have extremely strong life-saving abilities. The moment you make a move and fail to take them down, people will see that our North Sea City is weak. At that time, remaining indifferent will only make their probing more obvious. As the eldest daughter of the North Sea City's city lord, you wouldn't want to see the city fall into chaos under the destruction of these spirit-refining realm cultivators, right? Dan Taiying thought about the news she received. 13 spirit-refining realm cultivators died. More than half of them were killed by the blazing fire attribute Qi. And Tsing Hui cultivated fire attribute Qi. Alright, then I'll have to trouble you, Tsing Hui. Commander Beigong, I'll have to trouble you to cooperate with Tsing Hui. Beigong Xiu looked at Tsing Hui. Although she had heard of Tsing Hui's name and knew that he had the battle prowess of a spirit-refining realm cultivator, but those spirit-refining realm cultivators that came to probe were not weak. If Tsing Hui was unable to control the situation, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, thinking that if she could consider the problem, Big Miss would also be able to consider it. And Big Miss still did not hesitate to let him carry out this mission. Beigong Xiu did not hesitate. All right. Head guest Tsing Hui, please follow me. She gestured with her hand and brought Tsing Hui away. If it wasn't for the fact that we have no one to use, we would not be willing to place our hopes on a stranger that has not even been in North Sea City for 2 months. Looking at Tsing Hui's departing figure, Dan Taiying's eyes carried a trace of sorrow. There was no other way. Who asked North Sea City to suffer such disastrous losses and be pushed to the bottom of the 10 cities of Dragon Whale Island? Sister, I believe in Tsing Hui. Since Tsing Hui has spoken, he will definitely be able to save our North Sea City. Dan Taiyu consoled. Seeing his sister's confident appearance, Dan Taiying's heart suddenly moved. You were, back then in Sea Wind Fort, you and Tsing Hui went along the river and chased after those sea beasts that went deep into the land. Was that rank 4 half-holy Jiuying killed by Tsing Hui? Did he only display his true strength at that time? Dan Taiyu's heart jumped at her sister's question. She hurriedly shook her head. I don't know. At that time, I was very far away and did not know what happened. Really? NN. Really? Dan Taiyu nodded repeatedly. Dan Taiying smiled and retracted her gaze from Dan Taiyu's face. After all, she was her own sister. How could she, as her sister, not know her character and whether she was lying or not? Seems like this Tsing Hui has hidden his strength very deeply. His true strength may be far beyond my imagination. At least, it's not as simple as defeating 13 spirit-refining experts. Thinking of this, Dan Taiying's starry eyes flashed. Father is ultimately too cautious. If such a genius is not quickly tied together with great benefits, when he truly soars to the heavens in the future, there will be no more opportunities where his father's treasure hidden. No. I have to find it. Prince Tsing Hui, there are a total of 4 spirit-refining experts probing our Beihai city. Among them, the most arrogant one is this one. We do not know his name, but we know that his nickname is Bai Shanzi. On the night before yesterday, he sneaked into our mansion and killed 13 of our guards. However, this person seems to have awakened the dragon swallow blood meridians. His movement is extremely fast. Even a peak spirit refining expert might not be able to match his speed. Once he reacted, he could easily shake us off. I wonder what plans does Senior Tsing Hui have? Beigong Xiu brought Tsing Hui to a small courtyard in the middle of the city. Plan. Tsing Hui smiled. There is no need for a plan. Don't give him any time to react and just kill him with a sword. Tsing Hui's words caused Beigong Xiu's expression to turn sluggish. Senior Tsing Hui, you are joking, right? Although Bai Shanzi specializes in speed, he is still a middle-stage spirit-refining expert. Even the city lord might not be able to kill him in one strike. If you do not have a detailed plan, it is best not to act rashly and alert the enemy. In order to determine his whereabouts, we have been tracking him for 2 days and 2 nights without rest. Since Dan Taiying gave you full authority to cooperate with me, you only need to do what you should do. As for the rest, leave it to me. Seal off this area and don't let the news spread out. After finishing his words, Tsing Hui leaped and landed in the courtyard. Almost at the instant he landed in the courtyard, Bai Shanzi, who was hiding in the courtyard, immediately sensed his presence. The next moment, he broke through the window and was about to leave with his fastest speed. Damn it, unable to accomplish anything, but good at spoiling things. Seeing this scene, Beigong Xiu cursed and was about to rush forward to intercept Bai Shanzi. But at this moment, a sword ray burst out. A blazing streak of light pierced through Bai Shanzi's body in an instant. Then, with a spin, it returned to the green ruins, vanishing without a trace. Let's go, next. Chapter 123. Beigong Xiu looked at Bai Shanzi, who had rushed out of the window and fallen to the ground dead before he could escape the courtyard. Her eyes immediately widened. That was, he directly used a thunderous method to kill the 4 spirit refining cultivators who attacked Beihai City. I think that at that time, those spirit refining cultivators would calm down. Beigong Xiu trembled and finally woke up. At this moment, she finally understood why the big miss was so assured in letting Xing Hui handle this matter. With this kind of strength, ordinary spirit refining cultivators were nothing. Why would he be afraid of those small fries? With the Qing Su upper honored guest in our Beihai City, we can rest easy. I apologize for doubting the strength of the Qing Su upper honored guest. I will bring you to the location of the next spirit refining cultivator. No worries, let's go. Just don't let the news spread. Why? If we were to spread this news, we would be able to intimidate those restless spirit refining cultivators. Those spirit refining cultivators obviously came to Beihai City to probe. It's impossible for them to not notice the abnormality here. I'm afraid that in less than half an hour after you leave, they will know about Bai Shanzi's death. However, if they find out about Bai Shanzi's death, the effect would be different from us deliberately spreading the news in a while. As long as we are fast enough and do not leave behind any clues, the fear brought by the unknown will easily crush their will. Hearing this, Beigong Xiu nodded. Xing Hui's words make sense. The unknown is the most terrifying. Let's end this quickly. Don't give them time to react. Xing Hui rummaged through Bai Shanzi's corpse. Other than a rank 3 divine weapon, there was nothing good. After all, these people came with the intention to cause trouble. It was impossible for them to bring along real treasures. Bringing along a weapon for fighting was already the limit. Yes. Beigong Xiu replied respectfully and brought Xing Hui to the next spirit refining cultivator. Although those spirit refining cultivators were very cautious and had good life-saving methods, in front of absolute strength, they were not worth mentioning. In less than an hour, the 4 spirit refining cultivators who tried to probe Beihai City were all killed by him. After killing the 4 spirit refining cultivators, Xing Hui quietly left and continued his closed-door cultivation. However, as the news of the 4 spirit refining cultivators being killed in less than an hour spread out, the originally turbulent Beihai City suddenly quieted down. The wind and waves calmed down. Those cultivators who harbored ill intentions were all trembling under this thunderous blow, and no longer dared to do anything excessive. Beigong Xiu was the first to receive the news. She excitedly went to Tan Taiyu's office in the city lord's residence. Eldest young miss, no wonder the city lord could rest assured and let you guard Beihai City alone to defend against those small fries. It turns out that we actually have an expert like the Qing Su high guest in Beihai City. 4 spirit refining cultivators were killed in less than an hour. Those are spirit refining cultivators, they belong to the core of any power. 4 of them died in an instant. Currently, all the foreign cultivators in Beihai City are so scared that they keep quiet out of fear, not daring to act blindly without thinking. In less than an hour, 4 spirit refining cultivators were killed. Although Dan Taiying was already mentally prepared, after hearing Beigong Xiu's report, she could not help but hold her breath. However, in front of Beigong Xiu, she naturally would not reveal anything. She only smiled confidently. That's natural. With Xing Hui here, our Beihai City can rest easy. If there are any more people jumping around, watch them and do not act rashly. When the time is right, let Xing Hui make a move and kill them one by one. I don't believe that the loss of so many spirit-refining cultivators will not hurt. Yes. That's how it should be. Either we don't make a move, or we make them feel pain. Big Missy, I'll go arrange it. Beigong Xiu said and quickly retreated. Seeing Beigong Xiu leave, Dan Taiying could not help but think of the information she just reported. Tsing Hui, when Beihai City suddenly became peaceful, Longjing City's treasure offering assembly had already begun and was about to reach the climax of the announcement. However, just as the announcement was about to begin, a travel-worn man came to the Longjing Island Lord's residence and asked for an audience. He was called into the guest hall. In the guest hall, the Longjing Island Lord, who looked to be in his 40s, was holding a cup of tea and carefully sipping it. Behind him was an old man. This old man looked unremarkable, standing behind the Longjing Island Lord like a servant. However, Zhang Jiuxiao did not dare to underestimate him. This was because this old man was one of the Dragon Whale Island's 3 Unity of Spirit Realm experts, the infamous impermanence envoys Wu Wuchang. Because the Dragon Whale Island Master had once saved his life, he was willing to become the Dragon Whale Island Master's butler and follow his every command. Come, try it. This is one of the tribute teas that Brother Yuntao sent over. It's a specialty of Wave City. Brother Yuntao does not like to manage the city, but the flowers and plants he grows are truly extraordinary. Ordinary people do not have the right to enjoy such good tea. Zhang Jiuxiao hurriedly stood up when he heard the island lord mention Yuntao's name. It's my honor to be able to enjoy tea personally picked by Yuntao. Yuntao, the Wave City Lord, was the Longjing Island Lord's 3rd Spirit Qi Unity Stage cultivator. Only Spirit Qi Unity Stage cultivators had the qualifications to make the Island Lord address them as brothers. Zhang Jiuxiao, didn't you join a core disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect? You should be living a comfortable life now. Why do you have time to visit my Longjing Island? Said the Island Lord indifferently as he sipped his tea. When it comes to comfort, how can I compare to the Island Lord who oversees a region and controls the life and death of tens of millions of people? Alright, I've already heard these words of flattery countless times in the past 80 years. You don't have to say any more. If you have something to say, just say it directly. We're currently in the middle of the treasure presentation assembly. A few city lords have presented a few good treasures. I intend to carefully observe them. I'm actually here for the treasure presentation assembly. I've heard that the little island lord is so young, but your cultivation talent has been tested to be above average. Your future is limitless. However, if you want to have any achievements on the cultivation path, you'll need a top-notch cultivation technique. If your awakened bloodline is strong enough, your cultivation will be twice the result with half the effort, and your strength will grow by leaps and bounds. It's not easy to obtain a top-notch cultivation technique. 3 years ago, for a top-notch sacred scripture, I fought with several divine dragon list cultivators. In the end, I killed a Spirit Qi Unity Stage cultivator and 32 Spirit Refining cultivators before I took the sacred scripture for myself. Unfortunately, the sacred scripture doesn't seem to be compatible with Lin Er's talent. You mentioned the treasure presentation assembly because you want to give Peng Er a top-notch cultivation technique, right? That's right. Oh. The Island Lord glanced at Zhang Jiuxiao. What kind of cultivation technique can you have? You've joined the Hunyuan Heaven sect's true disciple. Don't tell me that the true disciple will pass the Hunyuan Heaven sect's secret cultivation technique to you. Moreover, even if it's a secret cultivation technique of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, I don't care about ordinary saint cultivation techniques. Don't tell me you can obtain the Hunyuan Heaven sect's sacred scripture, the Black Hole Sutra. Zhang Jiuxiao respectfully lowered his head. What I want to give to the Island Lord is the Hunyuan Heaven sect's sacred scripture, the Black Hole Sutra. Who? The Dragon Whale Island Master who had been calm and indifferent suddenly stood up. What did you say? You said you want to give me the Hunyuan Heaven sect's supreme cultivation technique, the Black Hole Sutra. The sacred scripture of the sect. That's right. Only a supreme cultivation technique like the Black Hole Sutra is worthy of the little island lord's above-average cultivation talent. The island lord realized that he had lost his composure and sat back down. However, his breathing was clearly heavier. Tell me, what do you want? Island lord is wise. In truth, I'm here on behalf of a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. She's willing to give you a handwritten copy of the Black Hole Sutra as a congratulatory gift. She wants you to kill someone for her. A handwritten copy? Hearing that, the Dragon Whale Island Lord calmed down slightly. However, it was only natural. Even a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect might not be able to obtain the true copy of the Black Hole Sutra. If it was just a handwritten copy, it would be more believable. I remember that the master you're seeking refuge with is called by you, a spirit-refining disciple. Suo Wuchang, who had been standing behind the island lord like a shadow, suddenly spoke. Lord Wuchang's eyes are as bright as torches. The true disciple I'm seeking refuge with is Fairy Baiyu. Not long ago, Baiyu's most beloved younger brother was killed by someone called Cho Tsinghui. However, Cho Tsinghui had a relative called Nailan Fei who protected him. Baiyu wanted to take revenge, but she couldn't do anything. The person you want Island Lord to kill wouldn't be that Cho Tsinghui, right? Zhang Jiuxia was taken aback for a moment before he hurriedly said respectfully, I didn't expect Lord Wuchang to have such detailed information about a true disciple from the mainland. I admire you greatly. However, the person Fairy Baiyu wants to kill is Cho Tsinghui. Moreover, Cho Tsinghui has already fled overseas. If you want to establish a force overseas, if you don't have a clear grasp of the 10 great sects movements, who knows when you'll be destroyed by the temple masters sent by the 10 great sections. Who is Cho Tsinghui? The Dragon Whale Island Lord asked in excitement. Cho Tsinghui isn't worth mentioning. However, his relative, Nailan Fei, is quite amazing. She's already cultivated Saint-grade astral chi at such a young age. Astral chi realm? Then there's no need to pay attention to her. So what if she has Saint-grade astral chi? Even if her astral chi has reached grand completion, I guarantee that she won't be able to return if she dares to behave atrociously in my island lord's territory. The Dragon Whale Island Master waved his hand heroically and took over the task. I'll take care of it. Wu Chang, investigate Chua Qingshu's whereabouts immediately. There's no need to investigate. Cho Tsinghui is on our island. Chapter 124. There's no need to investigate. Cho Tsinghui is in our Dragon Whale Island. Suo Wuchang said. N. The Dragon Whale Island's owner narrowed his eyes. Zhang Jiuxiao could not help but reveal a look of joy, that Cho Tsinghui is actually here. He's really walking right into a trap. Island Lord, please immediately take action and kill Cho Tsinghui. As long as you can kill Cho Tsinghui, I will hand over the Black Hole Scripture's awakening piece with both hands. This is a little interesting. The Dragon Whale Island's owner swept a glance at Suo Wuchang. Speak, what's going on? Island Lord should know that my disciple broke through to the peak of the spirit refining realm not long ago. This brat's temperament is strong, and after reaching the peak of the spirit refining realm, he was unwilling to use the resources I gave him to cultivate. He wanted to rely on himself to make a name for himself. In the end, I could only let him choose one of the cities on the island. Coincidentally, there was a rank 4 half-sacred Jiuying leading a group of people to attack Beihai City, causing great damage to its vitality. Thus, he set his sights on Beihai City. Oh. I've also heard of this matter. The Beihai City's owner is called Dan Tating, right? He can be considered as the #1 person in the spirit refining realm. Moreover, the treasure he offered this time is not bad, a space stone. My dragon whale bloodline can swallow the world. Refining the space stone will be of great help to my cultivation. Space stone. That's only a portion of what the Northern Sea City obtained. The real benefit that the Northern Sea City obtained was a Class 4 half-holy beast, 9 infants. N. Rank 4 half-sacred Jiuying. The Dragon Whale Island's owner seemed to have thought of something, and his expression immediately became unsightly. You're saying that the corpse of the semi-holy beast Jiuying that stirred up a storm in Shaoyang Sea City not long ago came from our Dragon Whale Island? That's right. I have yet to find out why the 4th-level half-saint beast Jiuying died at the hands of North Sea City, but according to my calculations, it is a fact that North Sea City benefited from its corpse. The city lord of North Sea City, Dan Tating, used Cho Tsing Hui as a cover to sell Jiuying's corpse in exchange for many benefits. However, the true benefit was the fire and water essence core in Jiuying's body, which had long been digested by him in secret. Compared to the fire and water essence core, a mere space stone is nothing. Suo Wuchang sneered. Dan Tating, how dare you? How dare you sell the treasures of my Dragon Whale Island in Shaoyang Sea City? Is Dan Tating still in the residence? Immediately send people to capture him alive and interrogate him. When I saw him a few days ago, his cultivation had yet to break through. Most likely, he has yet to refine the fire and water essence core. The Dragon Whale Island's lord's face flashed with coldness. A mere city lord of North Sea City was nothing in his eyes. After all, most of the cultivators in the sea were in the awakening realm, true chi realm, and spirit refining realm. However, this little city lord that he didn't take seriously actually caused him to miss out on the corpse of a quasi-sacred beast, the 9-headed snakelet, and even caused him to miss out on the fire-water essence core. If he could obtain the 9-headed snakelet's water essence core and refine it, there would be great hope for his cultivation to break through to the late stage of divine chi unison realm. The late stage of spirit and chi unity realm was enough to raise his ranking on the divine dragon list by at least 100 places. At that time, his authority and influence would be far greater than what he had now. Island Lord, if we capture Dan Tating now, I'm afraid that we will alert the enemy. Once Cho Tsing Hui guesses something, he will immediately escape and it will not be easy for us to capture him again. That Cho Tsing Hui still has this kind of ability? Suo Wuchang whispered, Island Lord may not know, but that disciple of mine was originally full of confidence and wanted to take North Sea City for himself. However, because of Cho Tsing Hui's interference, he was forced to return in defeat. It was also because of this that I specially investigated Cho Tsing Hui's origin and found out about the matters of the Hunyuan heaven sect that Cho Tsing Hui most likely refined Jiuying's fire essence core and broke through to the spirit refining realm. His battle prowess is not inferior to a peak spirit refining realm cultivator. Peak spirit refining realm, Dan Tating cannot escape from Dragon Whale City. However, once Cho Tsing Hui receives the news and escapes, with his peak spirit refining realm strength, ordinary people will not be able to deal with him. Thus, in my opinion, there is no harm in temporarily stabilizing Dan Tating while I personally head to North Sea City to capture Cho Tsing Hui. At that time, we will be able to catch them all in one fell swoop. Wu Chang, if you are willing to personally make a trip, then there will naturally be no mistakes. Zhang Jiuxiao quickly said, Many thanks, Lord Wu Chang. No matter how powerful that Cho Tsing Hui is, he has only cultivated for a short period of time. As long as Lord Wu Chang is willing to appear, it will be easy to capture him. Suo Wuchang nodded, then I will go and arrange the matters at hand. We will set off tomorrow morning. The death of the 4 spirit refining realm cultivators calmed down the storm in North Sea City. The large number of awakening realm, true chi realm, and even spirit refining realm cultivators that entered North Sea City had all retreated in just a short day. Because Tsing Hui had Beigong Xiu and the rest in charge of blocking the news, outsiders did not know the details of the death of the 4 spirit refining realm cultivators. In less than an hour, the 4 spirit refining cultivators seemed to have been killed. It was precisely because of the fear of the unknown that many cultivators retreated in fear. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, endless fantasy translation with everyone retreating, Tsing Hui naturally became idle again. Originally, he planned to wait until he reached the peak of true Qi realm before using the Great Sun essence. But now, he was considering if he should use it in advance. After all, a year's time to refine the peerless grade fire spirit stones and cultivate to the peak of true Qi realm was too slow for him. Wait a minute, a peerless grade fire spirit stone might not be the highest grade spirit stone. Perhaps there are even higher grade spirit stones, it's just that the news overseas is blocked, and coupled with the restriction of strength, no one knows Aunt Nalan is a direct disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, and is also a member of the Vault of Heaven. She must know about the items above peerless grade spirit stones if I can use peerless grade spirit stones to exchange for them. Thinking of this, Tsing Hui did not hesitate and directly entered the Primal Chaos Shrine. He contacted Nalan Fei and requested to enter her personal space. Pak Hui. Accompanied by the distortion of space, a clear voice sounded in his ear, "What's the matter?" It was Nalan Fei. Tsing Hui nodded. "I would like to ask, what are the cultivation stones above peerless grade fire spirit stones? Is it possible to exchange for them?" The cultivation stones above peerless grade fire spirit stones are spirit crystals. Usually, only saints use them. Spirit crystals are produced in many places, but the production is not high. They are usually monopolized by the 10 great saint sects. It's not easy to exchange for spirit crystals. Nalan Fei paused for a moment before a thought struck her. You want to use spirit crystals to cultivate? There's no need for that. Other than those top-tier treasures, peerless grade spirit stones are the best choice for cultivation. I can't exchange for spirit crystals. Tsing Hui was a little disappointed. The news of spirit crystals had not spread. It seemed like it had nothing to do with the 10 great saint sects monopoly. You want to exchange for spirit crystals? It's not impossible, but you'll have to pay twice the price. It's not worth it. In Tianhuang region, where trade is relatively free, the exchange rate between peerless grade spirit stones and spirit crystals is 110:1. However, in Eastern Wilderness, the exchange rate is 200:1. Moreover, you can only exchange for a small amount of spirit crystals. Do you have connections? Yes. But it's very troublesome. I have 10,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones. I want to exchange all of them for spirit crystals. Tsing Hui said, 10,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones. What did you do? Did you rob an island guarded by an immortal stage 4 expert? Nalan Fei was shocked. It's just a coincidence. Ant might be able to exchange them for spirit crystals. 10,000 peerless grade fire spirit stones for 50 fire spirit crystals. It's not a large amount, but it's doable. Alright, I'll ask Blazing Glory to make a trip to the mainland. Nalan Fei nodded. Just as she was about to say something, her personal space suddenly shook. It was as if a vast force was shaking her personal space, causing many items in her personal space to vibrate slightly. The sudden change caused Nalan Fei's expression to freeze. A war between Tianqiong and the other forces has broken out. A war between chaos. There are two types of battles between sons of chaos. One is a battle between individuals, and the other is a battle between groups. Even I'm affected by it. Clearly, this is a battle between organizations. We, Heaven's Vault, are fighting against other chaos organizations. The battle between chaos can only be started when someone who is at the 30th level of chaos buys a token of the realm of battle from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. This is a meaningless battle. It can even be said that it's a cruel way for the Chaos Temple to recover Sons of Chaos. At this point, Nalan Fei hurriedly got to her feet. Tsing Hui, I have to find someone to ask what exactly happened that forced Tianqiong to go all out to wage a war between chaos. Tsing Hui nodded. However, Nalan Fei's words made Tsing Hui understand one thing. The chaos level could be passed down, but why did the number of Sons of Chaos in this world not keep increasing? It probably had something to do with the war between chaos before them. Retrieve the Sons of Chaos? How? Seeing that Nalan Fei had left, Tsing Hui's figure flashed, and he appeared in the Hall of Dawn. At this time, the people of Dawn were gathered in groups of 3 to 5 and chatting. The topic of their conversation was actually related to Qianqiong. Tsing Hui immediately stood at the side and listened. It seems that the higher-ups of Qianqiong are really angry this time. They actually didn't hesitate to wage a war between Qianqiong and divine punishment. This is a war that won't end until one side dies. I just don't know what level this war is on. It's time to teach those people from divine retribution a lesson. They're extremely arrogant, and quite a few of them have extremely bad reputations. More than once, they've killed Sons of Chaos and stolen Dao-bearing treasures in the name of business deals. They've most likely provoked Heaven's Dome, and they're unwilling to bow their heads. That's why Heaven's Dome is so angry. A war between chaos will do more harm than good to both chaos organizations. It's purely for revenge. All the Sons of Chaos on the losing side will be stripped of their chaos level and become ordinary people. The winning side won't get any benefits, and they'll have to spend 100 Dao Aura points to buy a token of the world of battle. It's a battle of personal feelings. 100 Dao Aura points. The total Dao Aura points of all of us in Dawn are less than 100, right? After all, we usually have 2 or 3 Dao Aura points on us. Only the big shots of top organizations like Qianqiong can afford such a high price. Chapter 125. As expected, it's a method of retrieving Sons of Chaos. The initiator has to spend 100 Daoist rhymes to buy the token of the Realm of Battle from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. If they win, they won't get any rewards. If they lose, their Chaos ranks will be stripped, and they'll become ordinary people. Even the treasures stored in their personal space will be reduced to nothingness if they can't retrieve them in time. No wonder Nalan Fei was in such a hurry when she learned that Celestial Vault had started the War of Chaos. Tsing Hui listened for a moment and had a preliminary understanding of the War of Chaos. Heaven's Inquisition is here. Heaven's Inquisition, do you have any specific information about the battle between Celestial Vault and Divine Punishment? These two organizations of chaos are among the most powerful organizations in our Chaos Temple. Why would a war suddenly break out between them? Once the war starts, it'll really be a terrible disaster. Based on the information from the Divine Mystery Pavilion, which of these two chaos organizations will win? At this moment, there was a burst of exclamations from the crowd. Everyone gathered around Heaven's Inquisition, who had a clear source of information. In fact, the outcome is already clear. Celestial Vault is stronger than Divine Punishment, and now they're prepared for the war and have accumulated a lot of Daoist rhymes. Unless Divine Punishment can get external help, or if they've angered Celestial Vault itself, they'll definitely lose. As Heaven's Inquisition spoke, he shook his head. The War of Chaos between the two organizations will have at least 10 participants. As far as I know, the 10 core members of Celestial Vault usually have more than 1,000 Daoist rhymes, and they're specially prepared for war. The average level of these 10 core members is level 25. As long as they set their participation level to level 25, even if Divine Punishment, as the challenged party, can choose to raise or lower their participation level by 1 chaos level and send Sons of Chaos above level 24 to fight, there'll still be no match for Celestial Vault in terms of numbers. It seems that there are less than 10 Sons of Chaos above level 24 in the entire Divine Punishment. Divine Punishment is done. The 10 core members are level 25, I like Celestial Vault's way of suppressing others. If Divine Punishment doesn't choose to adjust their participation level to level 24, the entire organization won't be able to gather 10 Sons of Chaos whose average level is level 25. They'll definitely lose. Indeed. Heaven's Inquisition nodded. The 4 great leaders are the best at Divine Punishment. 2 of them are at level 26 and 2 of them are at level 25. Since the 2 level 26 Sons of Chaos are overflowing, they can choose to replace them with 2 level 24 Sons of Chaos. Even so, the final result is 6 against 10. They are still unable to withstand a single blow. Maybe the Taoist rhymes of the godly punishment tycoons have more than 2,000 Taoist rhymes. Someone joked. However, his words were quickly rebutted by someone else. Apart from those large chaos organizations that have to be prepared for the war of chaos, who would choose not to upgrade their chaos level after having 200 Taoist rhyme points, and instead keep it as a precaution. The war of chaos will last for 3 days at most. In order to collect enough Taoist aura points, the deity's punishment will definitely sell many treasures at a discounted price. It's a pity that, the treasures from the deity's punishment will not be cheap even if they are discounted. That's true. Well, this kind of thing is too far away for us. You don't have to discuss it too much. Just be careful and don't offend those great leaders who have level 30 Sons of Chaos. However, I believe that even if we offend them, they will not waste a token of the realm of battle that is worth 100 Taoist rhymes for a small organization like ours. Xing Yao stepped forward and temporarily put an end to this topic. However, many people were still waiting for the answer of this war of chaos. Tsing Hui, similarly. Apart from cultivating, he also spared a part of his mind to watch the show and wait for the final result of this war of chaos. Just as the people of Dawn had guessed, divine punishment began to constantly sell off various treasures after being unable to withstand the attacks of Heaven's Dome, exchanging them for treasures that could carry the truth. For a moment, grade 12 and 13 Saint artifacts, Phoenix Essence Blood, Black Tortoise Essence Blood, and Azure Dragon Essence Blood were all thrown into the market. Qing Su even saw more than one exchange for the Essence Blood of the Golden Crow. Unfortunately, this kind of treasure was too expensive. With his 3 Taoist rhymes, he could not afford 2.5 drops of it. He could only learn from it. However, no matter how hard the deity's punishment tried to sell many treasures, it still could not reverse its fate of defeat. On the afternoon of the second day of the war, Naylan Fei returned to her personal space and invited Tsing Hui in. She said in a relaxed mood, "It's over. The deity's punishment has been broken up. The 4 great leaders have been stripped of their chaotic level. It's a pity that they all ran away very quickly. Otherwise, without the enhancement of divine arts, talent, recovery, and other special abilities, the 4 great leaders would have all been killed. Unlike now, we only destroyed the large sect that they founded, the deity's punishment palace." Tsing Hui nodded. A level 1 divine art could temporarily increase a cultivator's strength by 1 level. When it reached level 6, it could temporarily increase a cultivator's strength by 2 levels. This kind of secret technique could completely turn the tide of a battle if used at a critical moment. In addition, the resurrection technique used when one was at level 20 of chaotic level could also explode with amazing combat power. Think about it. It was not easy to kill an enemy at the peak of the saint level at a great cost, but he was resurrected immediately and returned to the battlefield. What a blow to the morale of the enemy. Because of this, having a primal chaos level and not having a primal chaos level were 2 completely different concepts. Why did Firmament and the deity's punishment start fighting? Some small conflicts have been accumulating. In addition, 3 days ago, the deity's punishment took in a traitor of Firmament. Our swordsmen went to hunt him down but were repelled by the deity's punishment. This is the biggest provocation to Firmament. Because of this, the leaders of Firmament did not hesitate to go to war. The deity's punishment is really courting death. Firmament has been concealing our strength and biding our time, while the deity's punishment has been devouring all sides. The last few times we ignored them, they took an inch and wanted a mile. Now they know the price they have to pay for offending us. At this point, Naylan Fei seemed to have thought of something. This matter should be over now. Contact me when you reach the inland. Okay. Tsing Hui nodded. The two of them quickly left. Tsing Hui returned to his room. He could not help but sigh as he recalled what he had seen and heard in Dawn these 2 days. So what if he was a 25th rank son of chaos? So what if he cultivated to the peak of the Saint Realm? In the end, wasn't he still killed by a colossus like Firmament? Even such a person would fall one day. This made him feel a sense of urgency from the bottom of his heart. I've already summoned Blazing Glory. In 3 to 5 days, he'll probably come to North Sea City with these supreme-grade fire spirit stones and head inland to exchange for spirit crystals. And now, the essence of the sun appeared in Tsing Hui's hand. Heavenly treasure. The main purpose of heavenly treasures was to enhance one's cultivation. If one did not use them to enhance one's cultivation, what was the difference between them and sand? Immediately, the pure energy contained in the essence of the sun was continuously refined into his body. The essence of the sun was refined from absorbing the power of the sun. The golden crow was the spirit of the sun, also known as the sun golden crow. After obtaining the power of the essence of the sun, it immediately cheered happily. The golden crow chi in his body grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. The rate of growth was so fast that it far exceeded the rate of refining the core of the half-holy beast Jiuying's fire essence. One night. In just one night, Tsing Hui had completely refined the pure energy of the essence of the sun. No. It could not be called refining, but fusion. When the essence of the sun entered his body, it naturally integrated into his qi, causing the power of his golden crow qi to increase sharply. In one breath, it rose to the realm of perfection. It's really worthy of being the most precious treasure of the Jin Wu religion. If an ordinary cultivator were to use the essence of the sun, not only would they suffer from severe losses, it would also be difficult for them to move forward. A moment of carelessness would cause them to suffer from qi deviation. But for a cultivator who has cultivated the divine grade golden crow qi, it's a piece of cake. Tsing Hui was still not satisfied. The only shortcoming is that it's too little. My spirit has reached rank 46. Before reaching the peak of spirit refining realm, there won't be any bottlenecks. The only hurdle is the unity of spirit and qi. Rank 46 spirit is enough to cultivate the spirit grade aura to the unity of spirit and qi. Even if it's the divine grade aura, as long as it's polished to perfection and with the help of external forces, it's not difficult to advance. But the divine grade aura without a spirit grade of 50, there's no hope of success. Taking a look at his stats: attack tier 41, defense tier 36, speed tier 39, in terms of stats, he's not inferior to a late-stage spirit refining cultivator. Especially his attack, it's already reached the unity of spirit and qi. However, when it comes to true qi, he has an innate advantage. Without using the Crimson Dragon Sword, his battle prowess can only be comparable to a peak spirit refining cultivator, or maybe even weaker. But once he uses the Crimson Dragon Sword, relying on the increase in his attack power, Prince Tsing Hui. At this moment, Dan Taiyu's voice came from outside the door. As Tsing Hui opened the door, Dan Taiyu seemed to have been waiting outside for a long time. Could it be that someone is causing trouble again? Are they not afraid of death? No, no. Young Master Ching Su, the chief caretaker of Dragon Whale Island, Lord Impermanence, has personally come to our North Sea City. It's said that the Dragon Whale Island Master likes the treasures my father offered him, so he's specially come to reward him. However, for some reason, he's heard of your deeds and wants to meet you. The chief steward of Long Whale Island, Zhuo Wuchang. He came to Beihai City to give a reward. That's right. This time, father has gifted an extremely valuable netherspace stone. The Dragon Whale Island Master needs this item for his cultivation. It seems that father has given the right gift. This way, our North Sea City will be able to rest easy for the next 10 years. Dan Taiyu was somewhat happy. On the other hand, Tsing Hui muttered to himself. He felt that there was something wrong with this matter. Even if the island's master really liked the dark space stone presented by Dan Tai and wanted to send an envoy to reward him, he wouldn't send his most trusted chief steward Zhuo Wuchang. However, as for what's wrong, he'll have to meet Zhuo Wuchang to know. At this moment, he maintained his vigilance and nodded to Dan Taiyu before heading to the guest hall. Chapter 126. Xing Hui, you're here. Let me introduce you. This is Lord Zhuo Wuchang from Dragon Whale City. In the living room, Dan Taiying saw Xing Hui and Dan Taiyu arrive and hurriedly stood up to introduce them. You're Xing Hui. Zhuo Wuchang, who was originally sitting, stood up and looked at Xing Hui. After sizing him up, he nodded, yes, it's you. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for offending someone you can't afford to offend. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhuo Wuchang brazenly stepped forward. Aura Qi gushed out from his body and poured into the sharp claws on his hands. With a claw, the air in the air was torn apart by his body. The terrifying speed of the claw caused the tables and chairs in the living room to fly. Ha! Xing Hui felt that something was wrong when Zhuo Wuchang specifically said that he wanted to meet him. He was on guard. When Zhuo Wuchang made his move, he was the first to react. The crimson dragon sword in his hand was unsheathed at a speed not slower than Zhuo Wuchang's. Clang! Sword Qi soared to the sky. The moment the crimson dragon sword was unsheathed, it was like a volcanic eruption. Fiery red sword Qi shot out from the scabbard at the same time, stunning the living room. In an instant, it turned into a blazing sword shadow that met Zhuo Wuchang's claw. The sword and the claw clashed, and a burst of dazzling sparks appeared in the void. Bursts of sword Qi shot out in all directions, instantly tearing the tables and chairs that were sent flying into pieces. Even the sturdy floor was scratched with sword marks. The power of your Qi is due to this sword. Good sword. This sword, I want it. Seeing that Xing Hui had actually blocked his claw, Zhuo Wuchang's eyes flashed. He once again pounced, trying to close the distance between the two. Seeing this scene, Dan Taiying was shocked. What's going on? Dan Taiying, Xing Hui is someone that the country lord personally ordered to be killed. Immediately order the spirit refining cultivators of Beihai City to lock down the city lord's mansion. Do not let him escape. Zhuo Wuchang roared and pounced in front of Xing Hui. His sharp claws tore through the void, creating a series of phantoms. A large amount of Gang Qi was activated as he tore through the void, strangling Xing Hui's figure. Even though Xing Hui's sword was extremely fast, he was still forced to retreat. Otherwise, once Zhuo Wuchang, who uses short weapons, gets close, victory and defeat had been decided. Sister, damn it! Zhuo Wuchang is here for Xing Hui. Dan Taiying's face turned cold. However, her reaction was not slow. When she thought of the various miracles Xing Hui had displayed along the way, she decided to take a gamble like never before. Just as Zhuo Wuchang was about to close in on Xing Hui, she suddenly unsheathed her sword. Clang! The sword light was graceful. Zhuo Wuchang, who was about to bypass Xing Hui and attack Xing Hui with his crimson dragon sword, felt a biting cold sword light stabbing towards him. Before the sword arrived, the sharp intent had already caused a chill to run down his spine, forcing him to hurriedly turn around and grab the sword edge. Dan Taiying, you have guts to attack me. Are you trying to rebel? Zhuo Wuchang saw that the advantage he had just formed was once again lost and was unable to restrain his anger. However, Tan Taiyin paid no attention to him. She immediately ordered Tan Taiyu, gather all the experts in North Sea City who are above the true energy realm. Surround and kill him. At the same time, prepare to activate Beihai City's defensive cannons. Yes. In the end, Dan Taiyu was the third miss of the Dan Tai family. After the initial shock, she quickly reacted and ran out. Good, good, good. Your Tan Tai clan is truly courting death. After I kill this kid, I'll definitely return to Northern Sea City and annihilate your Tantai clan until not a single one is left. Suo Wuchang was extremely furious. To the side, Tsing Hui was also very surprised. He hadn't expected that Dan Taiying would actually choose to stand on the same side as him in the face of such a powerful enemy like Dragon Whale Island steward Suo Wuchang. However, now was clearly not the time to think about these details. I have no enmity with the island master. Why would he want to kill me? Humph. The island master has no enmity with you, but he was entrusted by someone, but there's no point in telling you this. A dead man doesn't need to know too much. Dead man? Wait until you can kill me first. As long as I don't die today, your Dragon Whale Island will be destroyed when I return with great cultivation. With that, Ching Su leapt up and charged out of the courtyard in a single instance. Afterwards, he rushed out of the city lord's estate as quickly as he could. Want to escape? Can you escape? Suo Wuchang's expression changed. He knew that Tsing Hui had obtained many treasures. If he really converted those treasures into strength, he might really become a problem. He immediately chased after Tsing Hui out of the courtyard. Assist the upper foreign delegates of Ching Su ruins and stop them. Dan Taiying chased out of the hall and shouted at the guards who had heard the commotion. No need. Tsing Hui's voice sounded, and in the next moment, he disappeared in front of Dan Taiying. Without the guards blocking him, Suo Wuchang's speed exploded as he chased after Tsing Hui and disappeared without a trace. Damn it, big sister. Dan Taiyu saw that Dan Taiying was about to follow and hurriedly said, Big sister, don't worry. Prince Tsing Hui has a way to save his life. Ha! Dan Taiying was slightly startled, and there was a trace of surprise on her face, but she didn't slow down at all. It seems that I made the right bet. Tsing Hui really has other tricks up his sleeve, right? Tricks that can deal with experts of the syncretism of spirit and chi realm, right? Big sister, seeing that Tan Tai-yin did not stop, Tan Tai-yu had no choice but to quickly follow up. Let's not go over. We won't be of much help even if we go over. If he really reveals all his abilities, he will be able to resolve this crisis. Silly girl, what do you know? It's because he can solve this crisis that we have to go there as fast as possible. We have to show him the sincerity of the Dantai family. For him, we have to stand behind him even if we have to fight against the entire Dragon Whale country. Only then can he really remember the kindness of the Dantai family. From now on, we will tie ourselves to his chariot and travel 1,000 miles in a day. Dan Taiyu was slightly startled. Obviously, she didn't expect that her big sister was chasing after him for this reason. While she was absent-minded, Dan Taiying had already rushed dozens of meters away. Dan Taiyu didn't have time to think about it anymore. She had to call out again, Big sister, wait for me. Suo Wuchang and Tsing Hui were both top-notch figures in the sea. With one chasing and the other fleeing at full speed, their speed wasn't any slower than a warship. In the blink of an eye, they had passed through a small part of North Sea City and rushed to the outside of the city. However, Suo Wuchang was an expert of the syncretism of spirit and chi realm after all. His speed, physical strength, and endurance were not something that Tsing Hui could compare with. When Tsing Hui burst out at full speed, he could still keep up with Suo Wuchang by constantly changing directions. However, when this burst of true chi ended, the distance between them was rapidly shortened. If it weren't for Suo Wuchang's altar and the sword chi of the Crimson Dragon's sword in his hand, he would have been caught up by Suo Wuchang. Boy, let's see where you can run. Suo Wuchang growled and chased after him. Although the Crimson Dragon's sword in Tsing Hui's hand made him feel apprehensive, making a target that he could have easily killed difficult to deal with, there wasn't the slightest hint of trouble on his face. Instead, his eyes were shining. A divine weapon. A divine weapon of at least the 5th level. Even if this divine weapon was incompatible with the claw art he cultivated, it would still fetch a sky-high price if he sold it. Just for this divine weapon, this Cho Tsing-hui had to die today. Tsing-hui, who was running wildly ahead, saw Zhuo Wuchang chasing after him, and his expression gradually turned cold. He didn't understand why the Dragon Whale Island Lord wanted to kill him for no reason, but because of the existence of the Dragon Whale Island Lord, he couldn't directly kill Zhuo Wuchang with divine arts. Otherwise, once Zhuo Wuchang died and the Dragon Whale Island Lord came personally, he would have no choice but to flee. He was fine if he was alone, but the Dantai clan, who had blocked Zhuo Wuchang's path and were clearly on his side, would be in trouble. Especially since Dan Tating and Dan Taiying were in Dragon Whale City, he couldn't take the Dantai clan with him even if he wanted to. Therefore, the best way was to leave the divine arts to the Dragon Whale Island Lord. And Zhuo Wuchang in front of him, swish. Tsing Hui's figure was as fast as lightning in the wilderness. From time to time, he would turn around and slash with his sword. Sword chi would erupt, and the crimson sword light would shoot out like rays of laser light, forcing Zhuo Wuchang, who had finally caught up with him, to wave his hand and counterattack. His figure slowed down, and the distance between them widened again. The two of them chased and fled like this. In the blink of an eye, they had already traveled over 100 kilometers, and a small lake suddenly appeared in front of them. Boy, you can't escape. Your chi isn't weak, but in terms of endurance, how can it compare to me, a spirit and chi unity stage expert? Surrender obediently, and I can give you a quick death. Otherwise, once you fall into my hands, I'll let you know what it means to beg for death. Zhuo Wuchang, who asked your Dragon Whale Island to kill me? There's no harm in telling you. The Hunyuan Heaven sect sent Zhang Jiuxiao to ask the Island Lord to kill you. Hunyuan Heaven sect's true disciple, you don't have much ability, but you entered a good sect and are rich. Remember to find a reliable backer in your next life. Ing Xiang. After Zhuo Wuchang finished speaking, he took advantage of Tsing Hui's slight distraction when he learned about the person who wanted to kill him to activate a secret technique. His speed exploded, and he inconceivably crossed the distance of 30 to 40 meters between the two of them. A claw that tore through the void brazenly slashed down. Eagle whistle. Starfire flowing light. Bang! Blazing flames exploded in the void once again. Shockwaves that could be seen with the naked eye swept out and turned into raging flames, burning the flowers and plants on the ground to ashes. As the flames scattered, Tsing Hui's body flew backward, 3 streaks of blood appearing on his chest. Eagle soars 100 li. However, the moment Qing Su was sent flying, a long whistle rang out right after. Zhuo Wuchang strode through the air as if he had shrunk the ground, catching up to Qing Su in a single instance. He slammed his hand down heavily once again, tearing through space. Bang! Metal and iron clashed. Tsing Hui was sent flying again, and he borrowed the force to twist his body and plunge into the lake. Foolish beyond compare. Your fire attribute stellar energy can still fight with me on the shore, but now you're trying to escape into the lake. You're courting death. Zhuo Wuchang roared out. In the next moment, he actually followed Qing Su closely and charged into the lake. And then, there was no then. Chapter 127. Just as Zhuo Wuchang chased Tsing Hui into the lake, a behemoth hidden in the depths of the lake brazenly bit out. This is. Zhuo Wuchang, who had just entered the water, felt his mind go blank when he saw the behemoth abruptly emerge from the bottom of the lake. The violent shock impacted his mind, and he wished his brain could explode. Xuanwu. Xuanwu. This is one of the 6 saints, Xuanwu. No. As Zhuo Wuchang screamed in shock, the powerful water control caused the water pressure around him to soar to the extreme, and he couldn't move at all. Chi. The next moment, the giant python behind Xuanwu had already bitten his body. Blood immediately dyed the bottom of the lake red. Voila! Waves splashed. Tsing Hui's figure followed closely into the lake. Seeing that Xuanwu had already bitten Zhuo Wuchang to death, his emotions didn't fluctuate too much. This wasn't the first time a unity of spirit stage expert had died in front of him. Moreover, Xing Hui, who had many trump cards, had never regarded Zhuo Wuchang as a real threat. Not to mention the divine art he could use, just the superior level 4 flying sword, Azure Mystic, was enough to make him invincible. Bu is really like a ghost. I've already temporarily hidden overseas, but she still chased after me. She even asked the Dragon Whale Island Lord to kill me. Does she really think that I won't dare to kill her just because she's a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect? Xing Hui's expression gradually turned cold, and he immediately made up his mind. After dealing with the Dragon Whale Island Lord, he would directly go inland and use Nalan phase channels to exchange for some fire spirit crystals, and then kill Bu, once and for all. As for the Hunyuan Heaven sect's pursuit, overseas, the heavens were high and the emperor was far away. They couldn't care that far. Boss, I'm bored to death staying in this small lake. I'm still a baby and I'm still growing. At this time, I need to exercise more. I need to swim in the sea and hunt for sea creatures to train my body. Only then can I grow faster. Otherwise. That's right. The pitiful voice of Xuanwu Cub came from below. However, Xing Hui couldn't be bothered to listen to its nonsense. I'll allow you to swim to the lake outside North Sea City. That lake is a little bigger than this one, and you can stay there. No, I want to go to the ocean. The ocean is the home of us holy beasts. I'm not a tortoise, or a turtle. Why should I stay in a small pond inland? If you keep talking nonsense, I'll kill you and refine your blood essence. Xing Hui reprimanded Xuanwu Cub. He had already understood that this Xuanwu Cub had obviously been led astray by some sea beasts. It was the kind of person who wouldn't stop until it was beaten. Following his reprimand, the Xuanwu Cub immediately became obedient. It just looked at Xing Hui with a pitiful expression, as if it wanted to cry but didn't dare to. It was as if Xing Hui had done something to it that would incur the wrath of heaven and man. Go to the lake. I'll tell you if there's anything else. At this time, Xing Hui also regretted not killing this Xuanwu Cub to refine its blood essence. After all, a level 4 Xuanwu wouldn't be of much help to him. If he wanted to wait for it to evolve to level 5, it would take at least 20 to 30 years. After 20 to 30 years, not to mention a level 4 Xuanwu, even if a level 6 or level 7 Overlord of the Sea came, he might not be able to take it seriously. The Xuanwu Cub seemed to have sensed Xing Hui's thoughts through the contract. Its originally pitiful appearance immediately disappeared, and it hurriedly swore solemnly, "Boss's words are a task that I'll do my best to complete. If boss tells me to go west, I won't go east. If boss tells me to be a vegetarian, I won't eat people. I'll go to the lake now." As soon as he finished speaking, he dived into the lake and disappeared. Xing Hui went forward and checked the spoils of war. Storage treasures were only widely available in the Saint Realm. Zhuo Wuchang was at the syncretism of spirit and qi stage, and he was also an overseas cultivator who had nowhere else to go. Naturally, it was impossible for him to have such a treasure. Apart from a level 4 god weapon Sharp Claw and a level 3 medium soft armor, he didn't have anything good. As for the level 3 medium soft armor, it had been completely destroyed by the Xuanwu Cub's bite. A level 4 god weapon. If I sell it, it's worth about 300,000 spirit stones. If I exchange it for spirit stones, it's worth about 2,000 spirit stones. Xing Hui put the god weapon into his personal space and turned to head in the direction of North Sea City. After traveling less than 10 kilometers, he saw two people coming quickly, one in front and one behind. When the two of them arrived, more than 30 figures appeared behind them. They were Dan Taiying and Dan Taiyu, leading a group of true energy stage cultivators to support them. Xing Hui's gaze swept across these people. Although these true energy stage cultivators were of no use in a battle between syncretism of spirit and chi stage cultivators, and the sword chi that spilled out could kill them, but, Xing Hui more or less understood Dan Taiying's thoughts. This Dan Taiying has some guts. The pressure from the Dragon Whale Island Lord is not so easy to resist. After saying that, Xing Hui couldn't help but have an idea in his mind. After killing Bai Yu, it wouldn't be good for him to stay on the mainland. Moreover, he had to find a safe place to settle down overseas. Before killing Bai Yu, he still had to go to Dragon Whale City to kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Once the Dragon Whale Island Lord died, this island would immediately become ownerless. I'll choose Dragon Whale Island then. I don't have much time to think about managing Dragon Whale Island. I'll let the Dan Tai clan take full responsibility. With that thought, Xing Hui went up to Dan Taiying and Dan Taiyu. Xing Hui, are you alright? Are you injured? Dan Taiying didn't ask about Suo Wuchang first. Instead, he was concerned about Xing Hui. On the other hand, Dan Taiyu seemed to think of something when she saw this familiar place, and her eyes lit up slightly. I'm fine. Alright, there's no need to mobilize so many people to avoid causing a commotion in North Sea City. Since Xing Hui had already decided to head to Dragon Whale City to kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord, there was no need to hide his true strength anymore. He immediately said, I've already killed Suo Wuchang. You can just return. You don't need to worry about anything here. I'll make a trip to Dragon Whale City and kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord again to solve the problem of Dragon Whale Island once and for all. Suo Wuchang is dead. Head to Dragon Whale City to kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Although Dan Taiying had guessed that Xing Hui's true strength wasn't limited to this, she still couldn't help but gasp when he revealed his true strength. The Dragon Whale Island Lord. That was the Dragon Whale Island Lord ranked 633rd on the Divine Dragon ranking. However, based on Xing Hui's tone earlier, this mighty Unity of God Realm expert, ranked 633rd on the Divine Dragon ranking, seemed to be able to kill him just like that. If this was true, then just how powerful was he? North Sea City actually got to know such a god by chance. Oh right, I remember that other than Suo Wuchang, there's another Divine Dragon Whale Island Lord who's at Wave City. Is there a way for him to head to Dragon Whale City with us? The City Lord of Billow City. If you can really kill the Lord of Dragon Whale Island, Sir Ching Su, your strength must be extraordinary. If that's the case, it won't be a problem to kill Yun Tao Enlightened Master. As Dan Taiying spoke, she no longer dared to address Xing Hui as casually as before. Oh. Why? Although Enlightened Master Yun Tao is one of the 3 Divine Dragon Whale Island Lords, he doesn't have much of a sense of belonging to Dragon Whale Island. No matter who occupies this island, as long as they don't infringe on his interests, he won't interfere. Moreover, he awakened the rare plant soul, so he's not much of a threat. Plant soul. Plants can also be considered a type of bloodline. Among the 18 divine beast bloodlines, 6 of them are plants and mystical creatures. However, the number of people who awaken these bloodlines is too small, less than 1 in 10,000. This is also the reason why some people say there are only 12 types of divine beast bloodlines. Dan Taiying added, because these bloodlines aren't good at killing, many of them have already gone extinct. There are only records of them in history. Ching Su nodded when he heard that. If Enlightened Master Yun Tao really wasn't a threat, there was no harm in letting him go. If he was a threat, at most, he would have to wait for half a month for the divine art to cool down. Fine, I'll head to Dragon Whale City now. As soon as Ching Su said that, he waved his hand and summoned his flying sword. Flying sword. Seeing the Qingxian sword hovering in front of Xing Hui, Dan Taiying felt that Xing Hui was even more unfathomable. However, she seemed to have thought of something and gritted her teeth. Prince Xing Hui plans to head to Dragon Whale City on his flying sword. That's right. Suo Wuchang is already dead. To prevent the Dragon Whale Island Lord from escaping in advance, I naturally have to go. Young master, please bring me along. Oh. Tsing Hui's gaze landed on Dan Taiying. Why? It's a critical period for Dragon Whale Island's treasure offering assembly. I'm afraid that apart from enlightened Master Yuntao, all the other city lords of Dragon Whale Island are in Dragon Whale City. If Prince Tsing Hui can kill the Dragon Whale Island Lord, he only needs to create some momentum to control the entire Dragon Whale Island and become the new ruler of Dragon Whale Island. Our North Sea City is willing to follow Prince Tsing Hui everywhere and cheer for Prince Tsing Hui. You want to seize the opportunity to control Dragon Whale Island, right? Tsing Hui immediately saw through Dan Taiying's true thoughts. After spending some time together, he already had a good understanding of Dan Tai's two sisters. The younger sister, Dan Taiyu, was inexperienced and still retained the innocence of a young girl. However, the older sister, Dan Taiying, she was quite impressive. If she had a son and was given the opportunity to rise, she would definitely become a formidable person. However, he who wanted to control Dragon Whale Island, needed such ambitious and capable people. Prince Tsing Hui, our Dantai clan knows our limits. Our Dantai clan definitely isn't qualified to become the ruler of Dragon Whale Island. The only one who can sit firmly on the throne of Dragon Whale Island is Prince Tsing Hui. Our Dantai clan only wants to be Prince Tsing Hui's vassals. Fine. Since you've asked, I'll bring you to Dragon Whale City. The nearby Dan Taiyu, upon seeing this, felt rather confused. Why did it seem that in such a short period of time, her older sister, Dan Taiying, had already led the entire Dantai clan to join Tsing Hui? To join this man who had just been an upper guest elder of their Dantai clan not long ago. The situation had changed too quickly, so quickly that she couldn't react in time. Time was of the essence, and Dan Taiying didn't explain too much to his younger sister. He only instructed, younger sister, bring Beigong Xiao and the others back to North Sea City and maintain order in North Sea City to prevent anyone from taking the opportunity to cause trouble. I'll follow Prince Tsing Hui to Dragon Whale City now. The future of our Dantai clan will be bet on this trip to Dragon Whale City. Chapter 128. City Lord, something's wrong. Dragon Whale City, Dan Tating's courtyard. Wu Yu came to Dan Tating's room with a solemn expression. I just walked around and found that the guards of our courtyard have changed from 2 True Qi Realm captains and 10 Awakening Realm guards to 4 Spirit Refining Realm and 20 True Qi Realm experts. Moreover, I know one of the 4 Spirit Refining Realm experts. His name is Wan Bo, and he's a Zhenhai guard personally trained by the Dragon Whale Emperor. You mean, we might be under surveillance? How is that possible? This is the capital of the Dragon Whale Empire. Who dares to be rude to me, Dan Tating, a governor? Before Dan Tating could finish his words, he seemed to have thought of something. His expression changed. Zhenhai guard personally trained by the Dragon Whale Emperor. Are you saying that the one who wants to deal with me is the Dragon Whale Emperor? I also find it hard to believe. Not long ago, I purposely went to the courtyards of the other city lords. There was nothing unusual in those courtyards. Dan Tating's expression suddenly became unsightly. The Dragon Whale Emperor wants to deal with me. How is that possible? I didn't offend the Dragon Whale Emperor in any way. I should pay the same amount of taxes every time. This time, in order to get first place in the treasure presentation assembly, I even tried to buy a space nether stone. Why would the Emperor want to deal with me? No, I have to go and ask. Master, please calm down. I might have seen wrongly. Wu Yu hurriedly said. At this time, Dan Taiying walked in from outside and said strangely, Father, when I was about to leave the courtyard to visit a good friend, I was told by the guards that a vicious person had sneaked into the Dragon Whale City with evil intentions. Those guards forbade us from leaving the courtyard. Even if we want to leave, we have to be followed by them personally. What happened? Hearing Dan Taiying's words, Wu Yu and Dan Tating, who thought that there might be a misunderstanding, both darkened their faces. The monarch has indeed sent someone to spy on us. But, why is that? This won't do. Wu Yu, go and investigate what's going on. Good. I'm on my way. Wu Yu responded cautiously before heading out of the courtyard. But at this moment, a long sword pierced through the air. A dazzling streak of sword light pierced through Dragon Whale City like a rainbow piercing through the sun. In the blink of an eye, it was in the direction of the city lord's manor. Standing in the air, the figure on the graceful sword raised his divine sword and slashed down. The dazzling sword light turned into a dazzling radiance that pierced through the core area of the Longjing city lord's mansion. Under the onslaught of the sword chi, the originally majestic mansion of the city lord's mansion only lasted for a moment before collapsing. Dragon Whale Island Master, come out and accept your death. With a slash of his sword, the figure standing in the air let out a long howl. His voice traveled hundreds of miles, shocking all the cultivators in Dragon Whale City. Who is it? They actually killed their way to Dragon Whale Island. Standing in the air. A green Hell Realm warrior? No. It was a flying sword. Someone was actually riding a flying sword. Could it be that the Dragon Whale Island Master offended some great figure? SSS, destroying the city lord's mansion with a single slash. Is he trying to fight to the death with the Dragon Whale Island Master? Spirit refining and true Chi realm cultivators rushed out of their courtyards one after another. They stared at the destroyed main hall of the city lord's estate in shock. This voice, why does it sound like our Beihai city's high guest Xing Hui? In the courtyard, Dan Tai Eagle heard the shouts in the air and called out in puzzlement. It doesn't seem like it. It's our Beihai city's Xing Hui King. Not only Xing Hui King, eldest miss is also here. She and Xing Hui King are standing in the air together. Outside the courtyard, Wu Yu's incredulous voice could be heard. Dan Tating and Dan Tai Eagle were slightly startled. In the next moment, the two of them rushed out at the same time, just in time to see Xing Hui and Dan Taiying in the air. For a moment, their faces turned green with fright. Crazy. Crazy. Xing Hui, is he crazy? It's fine if he's crazy, but he actually brought our Dan Tai clan with him. It's over. It's over. Now that we've offended the Dragon Whale Island Master, our Dan Tai clan is completely finished. Dan Tai Eagle looked at Xing Hui in the air and gritted his teeth. His face was filled with panic and fear. No wonder the Lord of Longjing City sent people to monitor our courtyard. The only thing we can do now is to take advantage of the fact that the Lord of Longjing Island and the others are distracted by him and kill our way out of the encirclement as quickly as possible. Every single one of us who can escape is one life. Our Tan Tai clan cannot be exterminated in my hands. Although Dan Tating's face was filled with hatred, he was decisive. On the other hand, Wu Yu looked at Xing Hui and Dan Taiying, who didn't seem to be panicking at all. Instead, there was a trace of excitement on his face. He hurriedly stopped them and said, "Wait a moment, things might not be as bad as we think. Eldest Miss isn't an impulsive person. If there wasn't a special reason, she wouldn't have followed Xing Hui to Dragon Whale City." Dan Tating naturally knew his eldest daughter well. It was just that the scene just now had a huge impact on him, causing him to lose his composure for a moment. Now that he had calmed down and thought about it carefully, his eyes immediately lit up. The corpse of that Class 4 half-saint beast, Jiu Ying, came about strangely. I asked you, but you, was unwilling to give me an explanation. Don't tell me, this Qin Su is actually a colossal figure who has been hiding his strength all this while, someone who possesses the strength to kill a Class 4 half-saint beast, Jiu Ying. Rumble. Right at this moment, a round ball suddenly soared into the air and exploded, turning into a transparent barrier that enveloped Xing Hui in a small portion of the city master's mansion. In the next moment, the Dragon Whale Island Lord exerted force on his feet and shot out of the city master's mansion like an arrow. Before he arrived, the terrifying and majestic aura of a unity of divine chi expert had already swept out violently. As he clenched his fist, a terrifying giant beast appeared in the air. It seemed capable of swallowing the world, and the airflow in the air was about to explode and shatter. "Junior, how dare you behave so atrociously in my Dragon Whale City? Do you really think that I can't do anything to you just because you have a flying sword? Die!" The Dragon Whale Island Lord roared with a majestic aura. However, before his strike that could shatter space could completely crush Ching Su, a presence that was even more terrifying than the Lord of Dragon Whale Island himself erupted from his body. Clang! The moment he used the divine art, Tsing Hui raised the crimson dragon sword in his hand, caw. There seemed to be the cry of a divine beast in the air. Behind Tsing Hui, a golden crow spread its wings. Scorching and domineering waves of heat exploded in the form of light, illuminating the surrounding dozens of li. In everyone's eyes, it was as if a blazing sun was slowly rising. Golden Crow. Golden Crow. It's the great sun Golden Crow. Shouts that were far more intense than before suddenly erupted from the crowd. Heavens, what kind of technique does this person cultivate to be able to summon the Golden Crow? Could it be the supreme technique of the Jin Wu religion, the Great Sun Golden Crow technique? This kind of power is something that only divine-grade stellar energy cultivators can possess. No matter how powerful the Dragon Whale Island Lord's cultivation is, how can he contend with a top genius who is worthy of being called a holy son by the 10 great sacred sects? It's over. The Dragon Whale Island Lord is finished. No. The Dragon Whale Island Lord, who had wanted to charge out to show off his might, turned pale when he saw Tsing Hui use such a terrifying killing move. Damn it, this is a true chi cultivator. Zhan Jiuxiao, you dare to harm me. Rumble. A moment later, Tsing Hui's golden crow sword erupted like a blazing sun. Boundless golden light instantly dispersed the Dragon Whale Island Lord's divine ability that had sealed the space around him. One sword, shattering all laws. Not only that, after this sword tore apart the Dragon Whale Island Lord's spatial shredding and shattered the Dragon Whale Island Lord's essence, energy, and soul, it continued onward. The vast destructive power contained within it was like the end of the world as it enveloped the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Boom! Sparks exploded. The Dragon Whale Island Lord's stellar energy dissipated, his armor shattered, and he crashed into the ground like a cannonball. The ground around him seemed to be the surface of a lake that had a pebble thrown into it. It sank slightly, and then it suddenly tore apart, sweeping up dust and pebbles in all directions. Having gained the upper hand, Tsing Hui did not give the Dragon Whale Island Lord any time to catch his breath. He became one with his sword and stabbed down. The Crimson Dragon sword light tore through the dust and once more tore apart the ground. Stop, stop, the Dragon Whale Island Lord spat out a mouthful of blood as he weakly called out. A terrifying sword mark had slashed his body just now, almost cutting him into two. Tsing Hui remained unmoved. He leaped forward and landed in front of the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Don't kill me. I have no enmity with you. I only did what I was asked to do. Zhan Jiuxiao used the Black Hole Sutra's awakening chapter to invite me, which is why I offended you. If I had known that Lord Tsing Hui had such ability, I would not have dared to offend you even if I had 10,000 guts. Zhan Jiuxiao is in my residence. I am willing to personally kill him, and then I will use all my wealth to apologize to you. Swish. Before the Dragon Whale Island Lord could finish speaking, Tsing Hui suddenly attacked with his sword. Under his terrified, stunned, and unwilling gaze, the Dragon Whale Island Lord's begging came to an abrupt end. Take care of this. Tsing Hui said to Dan Taiying, then leaped into the air and charged towards the city lord's residence. Before the effects of the divine art ended, he needed to use his absolute strength to suppress all discontent on Dragon Whale City. When Tan Tai Yin saw how the island lord had been slain by a single strike of Qing Su's sword, she felt all her blood boil at the same time. She could not help but blush with a sense of comfort she had never felt before. Dead. Dead. The Dragon Whale Island Lord was dead. He had died at Tsing Hui's hands. From this day onwards, Dragon Whale Island belonged to Tsing Hui. Because she had chosen to side with him in time, the Dantai family was now completely tied to Tsing Hui. If Dragon Whale Island belonged to Tsing Hui, it was the same as belonging to the Dantai family. When the time came, the Dantai family would become the largest family on Dragon Whale Island. Chapter 129. Big Sister. What the hell is going on? Dan Taiying had just collected the valuables on the Dragon Whale Island Lord's body when Dan Tating, Dan Taiying, Wu Yu, and a group of North Sea City experts rushed over to the City Lord's manor. Dan Tating and Wu Yu, who had already guessed something, couldn't suppress the excitement and anticipation on their faces even though they had been through countless storms. Dan Taiying looked at the people from North Sea City. I believe Father and Chief Steward have already guessed what happened. After saying that, she nodded vigorously. It's exactly as you guessed. Dan Tating felt his heart twitch violently. He couldn't help but cover his chest with his hand. Really? The Dragon Whale Island Lord's corpse is even here. How can it be fake? Tan Tai Yin glanced at the Dragon Whale Island Lord who had already breathed his last with excitement on her face. Young Master Qing Su has no relatives or friends on Dragon Whale Island. If he wants to rule Dragon Whale Island completely, he'll have to rely on our North Sea City strength. Father and the General Manager know better than me what this means. Soon, our North Sea City and our Tantai clan will become an existence that's second only to one and above all on Dragon Whale Island. Good. That's great. Wu Yu couldn't help but say good 3 times in a row. His aged face was filled with excitement. It's a pity that we didn't have time to improve our relationship with Tsing Hui before he truly displayed his value. Otherwise, our Dantai family's future would really be limitless. Dan Taiying was excited for a moment, but also felt a little regretful. Dan Tating was the same. If I had known this would happen, I would have listened to your advice and handed that fire attribute treasure to him. No. It's not too late for us to express our stance now. Not only do we have to prove our value, we have to do it quickly. Otherwise, when those city lords who have yet to recover from the shock of the change in ownership see the situation clearly, our North Sea City might not be able to hold much of an advantage. After all, there are 4 or 5 factions on Dragon Whale Island that are stronger than our North Sea City. I specially went to look for that treasure that you hid, but I couldn't find it. If we could give that treasure to him before then, our Dantai family's position in Tsing Hui's will definitely be impregnable. However, it's too late to say that now. What we can do is do our best to help Prince Tsing Hui manage Dragon Whale Island well. As long as we can do that, our Dantai family's position on Dragon Whale Island will be unshakable. Our position on Dragon Whale Island. As long as we can do that, as long as we can, Prince Clan's Dantai, no one will family's status on Dragon Whale Island's island families on Prince families that. Not bad. Dan Tating's. This favor could only be considered as giving their North Sea City an early advantage. If they really wanted to stabilize their position, they would have to depend on their North Sea City's performance. Immediately, Dan Tating hurriedly ordered, immediately surround the city lord's mansion. Prince Tsing Hui will personally deal with those cultivators that the Dragon Whale Island master trusts the most. However, we can't let the others off either. Immediately send the news to the other city lords. Have them lead their troops to kill those subduing sea guards loyal to the Dragon Whale Island master, as well as Sky Water City in Dragon Roar City. The subduing sea guards, Sky Water City, and Dragon Roar City were all trusted subordinates of the Dragon Whale Island Master. Only by eliminating the subduing sea guards and suppressing Sky Water City and Dragon Roar City would they be able to truly unify Dragon Whale Island. I'll personally go and pass the order. Wu Yu said in a deep voice. Go. Many people witnessed the death of the Dragon Whale Island Master. It's time for them to make their stance clear. I believe that those city lords will make the right choice between remaining loyal to the Dragon Whale Island Master and changing their allegiance to the new Island Master. Dan Tating sternly ordered. As Dan Tating gave the order, Tsing Hui swept through the Dragon Whale Island Master's residence with the might of the divine art. As the owner of the Dragon Whale Island, the Dragon Whale Island Master's influence was far from what North Sea City could compare to. Just the Dragon Whale Island Master's residence alone had more than 40 spirit refining cultivators and hundreds of true Qi cultivators serving under him. Unfortunately, ordinary spirit refining cultivators were no match for Tsing Hui, who was currently using the divine art. Even if Tsing Hui was in his ordinary form, defeating them would only take some time. Under such circumstances, he stepped on the corpses of more than 10 spirit refining cultivators and killed his way to the core of the Dragon Whale Island Master's residence. There, Zhang Jiuxiao, who represented Fairy Baiyu, heard the screams coming from outside the Dragon Whale Island Master's residence and felt that something was amiss. Just as he was about to escape, Tsing Hui's figure leaped and blocked his path. Zhang Jiuxiao. As one of Fairy Baiyu's most capable left and right-hand men, Zhang Jiuxiao had seen his image before. At the same time, Zhang Jiuxiao naturally recognized Tsing Hui. Seeing Tsing Hui actually appear in front of him, he, who had already guessed that the situation was not good, turned pale with fright. You, how are you? Fine. The Dragon Whale Island Master. Didn't the Dragon Whale Island Master personally take action? How did you? Since I'm here, there's no need to say what will happen to the Dragon Whale Island Master. I didn't go find Baiyu to settle the score, but instead, you delivered yourself to me. You can't blame me. Seeing that even the Dragon Whale Island Master was no match for him, Zhang Jiuxiao suddenly trembled and immediately offered up a book. Prince Tsing Hui, I'm willing to use the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's sacred scripture, the Black Hole Scripture, to exchange for my life. I ask that Prince Tsing Hui be merciful and give me a way out. If Prince Tsing Hui is willing to accept me, I, Zhang Jiuxiao, am willing to be at Gongzi's beck and call. I know that Baiyu has many secrets. If Gongzi gives me a chance, I'm willing to hand over all these secrets. When the time comes, Baiyu's reputation will be ruined. Even without Gongzi doing anything, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Law Enforcement Division will personally tear her to pieces. Tsing Hui's heart stirred. Baiyu would undoubtedly die. But if he killed Baiyu, with her identity as a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, unless he cultivated to the peak of the immortality stage, he would be a wanted criminal when he returned to the mainland. Even the Zhua family and Neilan Fei would be affected to some extent. But if he did as Zhang Jiuxiao said, exposing Baiyu's weakness and causing her reputation to be ruined, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Law Enforcement Division would undoubtedly be the easiest and most convenient way. The Black Hole Scripture's Awakening chapter was the best evidence. How can I believe you? When the Dragon Whale Island Lord excavated an ancient ruin, he found a bottle of pills by chance. It's called the Soul Dispersing Pill. This pill can only be activated by injecting a trace of spirit energy into it. Once consumed, it will subtly change a person's thoughts and make them loyal to the person who injected the pill with spirit energy. The Dragon Whale Island Lord relied on this pill to subdue 2 experts of the same level as him while he was still at the spirit and Qi unison stage. He also made Zhuo Wuchang loyal to him and willingly serve him. If Yun Tao hadn't awakened a special bloodline and had a strong resistance to pills, he probably would have been reduced to a servant of the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Even so, Yun Tao still has a good impression of the Dragon Whale Island Lord. As long as the Dragon Whale Island Lord's orders aren't too excessive, he'll carry them out faithfully. Speaking of this, Zhang Jiuxiao smiled bitterly and added, 80 years ago, when I was still at the true Qi stage, I once explored the ruins with the Dragon Whale Island Lord, so I understand these things very well. Unfortunately, the Dragon Whale Island Lord at that time relied on his spirit refining cultivation to occupy all the treasures in the ruins. I estimate that he must have relied on the treasures in the ruins to reach the spirit and Qi unity stage. Oh, so that's how it is. Xing Hui also felt a little strange. Why was the Dragon Whale Island Lord able to make Zhuo Wuchang so loyal even though his cultivation was slightly higher than Zhuo Wuchang's? He originally thought that the rumors were true and that the Dragon Whale Island Lord had saved his life back then. A pill that could change one's consciousness, truly extraordinary. Where is the pill? I'll bring you there now. Zhang Jiuxiao guessed that he had probably managed to survive, so he hurriedly responded politely. He brought Qing Su to the master of the Dragon Whale Island's bedroom, and after searching for a while, he returned with a bottle of pills very soon. There's only 2 left. There were only 5 pills in this bottle when it was unearthed. He obviously used 2 of them on Zhuo Wuchang and Yun Tao. Zhang Jiuxiao's tone became a little lower as he said uneasily, a spirit and Qi unity stage cultivator's soul is strong. Spirit and Qi unity, as well as the heart and spirit, would have some resistance to this kind of pill. I'm guessing that the Dragon Whale Island Lord must have given Zhuo Wuchang 2 spirit scattering pills, which allowed Zhuo Wuchang to follow his orders without hesitation. Is that so? When Qing Su heard that, he found it rather a pity. Wouldn't it be better if that Dragon Whale Island Lord had taken out this elixir earlier? At that time, Mo Wuji might have spared his life. In any case, Mo Wuji was a spirit and Qi unity realm expert. With him overseeing the Dragon Whale Island, it would be much safer than letting the Tantai clan rule over the Dragon Whale Island. Alright, I won't let you take the pill. Quite a few people know that you brought the Black Hole Sutra to Long Whale Island in an attempt to give it to the island master. Once this matter is leaked, the Hunyuan Heaven sect won't take this lying down. At that time, regardless of whether you secretly read the Black Hole Sutra or not, they'll definitely send a law enforcement elder to hunt you down. If you don't want to die, you'd better behave. Yes, yes, yes. I understand. I, Zhang Jiuxiao, am only siding with Bai Yu for the sake of my future. I want to obtain resources and better cultivation from her. Now that young Master Qing Su has taken over Dragon Whale Island, he's already a ruler. He's already accomplished so much at such a young age, so his future is limitless. Following young Master Qing Su might even become the greatest fortuitous encounter of my life. Under these circumstances, as long as I'm not blind, I definitely won't be disloyal to young Master Qing Su. Zhang Jiuxiao solemnly vowed, please rest assured, Prince Xing Hui. Time will prove my loyalty. Is that so? I hope you won't disappoint me. Xing Hui naturally wouldn't believe any of Zhang Jiuxiao's words. However, Zhang Jiuxiao still had some value that he could make use of. As for not letting Zhang Jiuxiao take the soul-dispersing pill, it would be a pity to waste such a pill that could control a spirit and Qi unity stage expert on a spirit-refining cultivator like Zhang Jiuxiao. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.